All right. And we are live. The last word, LordCognito Ebontis. And we're missing a certain someone, but I think we'll make do. Shout out to Trav, man. Send some love. Trav was not feeling well under the weather. There's many weeks he's held me down. It's only right that we hold him down. You know, when he says some love. Send some Fast and Furious references and what else? Some good Scion references.
We hold down we hold it down for family. It's what we do. So
yeah, the Cabal, me and E the Cabal. And that's our little Scion. So you know we gotta hold it.
He's gotta go rest his
the beefy boys got to hold him down today. Yeah. But yeah, man, before we get into the special guest that we got, E, how you been, man? What's going on with you?
Been good. Trying to just kind of mix in more cardio at home, actually. Like we have our friend's rowing machine in, so trying to get back into that, just trying to you know, went on a cruise, so it's like get a little extra, and then after the cruise, you're like, okay, now we got to go the other way.
You got extra cuddly when you came back.
Little extra snuggles going there. So working on that one, but trying to look a little better for GCX 2023. So got the long term one. But I've been rowing more, lifting back to end a bit more consistent, and then played Plague Tale Innocence. I played through that in a couple streams. God of War is going to be apparently amazing next week, so reviews all dropped today and everything. AMD did its stuff today, so just kind of keeping up with tech and gaming as much as I can. What about you?
Yeah, man, it's been a hell of a week. Have you
actually been on this in your state for a little while? Have you been home?
No, I'm actually in the country, but I've been so busy, man. It's really been a nonstop week. You know, work's been nuts. Actually, not a lot of gaming this week, which I'm kind of embarrassed about because it's just been so crazy. But
real life things.
Yeah, real life is definitely taking the front seat. I feel bad. My clan is out there doing it up. They got rope checkpoints for me, and I'm like, damn, I didn't got time to jump in real quick. Like, so shout out to DJ, shout out to Ducky and the crew. You know what I'm saying? And Back for Dead as well. I got to get up in there, and then also Mr. Matty Plays, my co-host from Defining Duke. Got that situation popping, tying the knot, making the popping the question. You know what I'm saying? So that gave me double duty on hosting. Yep. So it's a lot of that going on.
I saw you with Miles Dompier.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm like, come on, why does somebody have like a name like that and then be like, all right.
It's crazy. Like, like I'm Miles Dompier. like that's ill. That's ill. I ain't going for it. That's an ill name. But now, other than that, man, just trying to catch up, and hopefully when this week settles down, I will get back. I know we got a lot of stuff in Destiny to talk about today. But before that, we have some special guest here that's been real patient. I think you need to bring him in.
All right. Welcome to the Last Word, episode number 222. Spooky season is coming to a close. Call of Duty came roaring back into the gaming world, and graphics cards are hot commodities once again. We are coming into the holiday season, which is always big for video games. So, what better time to have a guest who is in the know about many things gaming? He started his journey in the world of Nintendo, and SNES brought him the glory of his favorite game of all time, Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars. That's like that's like way up there, so I'm with you.
Oh, you co-sign.
I got you.
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I like how that.
Massive co-sign, so I love
Respect.
That. RPGs, MMOs, action games, and of course, Halo all came together in this witch's brew that is Destiny. Now, at his first taste of this concoction, it did not win him over. In fact, he spit it back out, as D1 just wasn't his flavor of choice. But eventually, he got a smell of what Destiny 2 was cooking, and this time the recipe was much more to his liking. A gamer for life and dedicated to take that passion to the next level, he chose to co-found his own gaming blog and shortly after started co-hosting his own podcast back in 2016. So let's welcome the life of the gaming event after parties, Hunter Main, who is either get rapid firing his golden gun or pole dancing with his arc staff, a lover of spicy food, of course, gotta love it on the way in, but not on the way out, has helped raise over $2,000 to support breast cancer awareness, huge fan of Dungeons & Dragons, of which Travis is sad he's not here. So much so that this man has gamed with the same group of friends for the past 7 years. Thanks. Co-host of Not Another Gaming Podcast and co-founder of Wicked Good Games, the one, the only, Papa Dom. How you doing, sir?
Wow. Thank you. Jeez, I mean, you know, the first time I was on the Iron Lords podcast, I mean, you rolled out a hell of a red carpet. But there's been an awakening. There's another.
Bro, I'm last today's news, man.
I was like, I learned from the best.
Wow. You, brother.
Hell of an intro. Yeah, thank you guys for having me. Awesome to be here. First time, long time. Big fan, big fan of the show. And it's it's an honor to be around the campfire. So yeah, thank you for having me.
What's going on? You know what's crazy? As long as I've known you now, it's funny because I didn't even really attribute you to being a Destiny player until probably like the last year and a half to 2 years. And I'm like, in the beginning, like, oh, he just popped because you like you know what it is, Eve? You got them dudes, I call them the expansion dudes, right? So the big expansion come out and they be like, yo, everybody's playing my timeline. And then it's like, oh, the Witch Queen. And all right. And then I'm like, you gonna fade off like everybody else do, right?
Right.
But now, like, Dom is about this. I'll be seeing him. I'll be like, yo, he really played Destiny. Like,
I'm putting the time in.
Yeah, man. So salute to you on that before we get into the Destiny part. But for those who don't know, you know what I'm saying, Wicked Good Games in the building. Shout out to your comrades, you know what I'm saying, Chris and Bob and all that. But the gaming history, man, I've always loved the gaming history. But the one aspect I wanted to talk to you, actually, that Halo real quick though. I do want to ask you about that because it seems to be a jumping off point, a transitionary point. So for you, tell me about them Halo days.
Yeah, so the Halo days, man. I mean, that was like the first real online gaming experience that I had. And when Halo 2 first came out, I didn't even have broadband yet. I still had AOL 8.0 or something like that. So
that 250-hour disc.
Yep. Oh yeah. So I couldn't even play Xbox Live until like the very late original Xbox days, into like a few months before I got a 360. So it was tough. We had slow internet for a while. I was even playing, I think we had like DSL for a couple like months, and I was playing like World of Warcraft on like a Verizon DSL thing. It was taking me a half hour to load into an instance and stuff. Yeah. It was tough times. So a lot of my Halo origins came from LANing with friends. Like people would bring their Xboxes over. We would have multiple TVs going. We had like any excuse we could take to like commandeer TVs. And these are not flat screens, mind you. These are floor units that were like rolling down. We're rolling across the neighborhood like on scooters and bikes to like get into one place.
A big back TV?
Yeah, so like the back muscles have, they're there. The foundation is there, even if they have a thick, warm winter layer over now.
Cuddly in the front,
Hey. That's right, exactly. Nobody wants to cuddle with a pile of remotes. So we I try to keep a little bit on, but no, I mean from day one it was a lot of LAN parties. A lot of split screen. A lot of screen peeking. We had to deal with those trials and tribulations early.
Man, some of those pictures I've seen on Reddit of old school screen peeking stuff is hilarious. Like the 4 pieces of cardboard, one kid hanging from the ceiling for the top and bottom. Yeah, there's some ridiculous stuff with that.
Stop cheesing me, bro.
So, and one of the craziest, actually, let's see. So Halo 3, what was it, 2007? Was it 07? So before that, we actually, and speaking of ceiling, so when I was in high school, so I graduated high school in 08. So 2007, I think, was Halo 3, and we didn't have that quite yet. We still had a bunch of original Xboxes with Halo 2. So I went to a trade school. I went to a trade high school, and across the hallway, we had 2 different shops, basically. So we had like 15 kids in one and 15 kids on the other side. I was in like a architecture shop, and these kids were in electrical. So what we did was we had like there was a big holiday week. None of us had stuff to do, so we ran an Ethernet cable like hundreds of feet across the hallway into the ceiling. They were trying to snake this cable for days, and they were like, "Oh, we're fixing this light. We're fixing this light in the hallway." So it connected 2 high school classrooms. Oh my God. And so we had 4 Xboxes LAN, 2 in one classroom and 2 in another. Like, those are still there. Those are still there. And one of my closest friends, shout out Johnny Root Beer, friend of the program, friend in real life. My best friend of like 17, 18 years. Salute. He now, actually, I'm not going to dox him. So but he knows where those cables are. I'm going to say he knows where they are. So, maybe we have to return to the school one day and pass it on to somebody worthy. Like if I got like a little cousin that goes there or something, I'll be like, all right,
pass it on to the next generation.
That's right. But so some crazy LAN stuff happened. But yeah, so I mean, and I've been a Halo fan ever since. So that's me.
Salute, salute. Love the history right there. And also, he shares some deep Nintendo history with you. I
Oh,
think you
yeah.
will get into that bag right quick.
Yeah, no, I mean, for me, when you're talking about like what you grew up on, I mean, mine started on NES. So I'm a little older than you, of course, but probably not by too far. But no, when you mentioned like your favorite game of all time, it's really high for some of my older games because for me, Chrono Trigger's my number one. That's like one of my jams. But when it comes to RPGs that I've played through, like Super Mario RPG Legend of the Seven Stars, that was one of those like game changing, like that took Mario in such a different direction. You had Bowser on your side at one point. You had like
Talk about
Mallow and so many
Close
like
the eyes
the
till he
music
took 'em back.
notes and so many different pieces too. It was just like Mario in an RPG, and then you had like the proper hit timing when you're trying to get the extra damage and everything. Like, I want to know why that game sticks out so much to you, because I know for me it's got certain moments, and it may not be. It's an amazing game, but why is it your number one? I'm curious.
So yeah, I mean, like growing up, I remember remember a Sega Genesis like in my mom's room, like that growing up. That's like one of my first memories. I don't remember how it got there. Like that was the first console we ever had in the house, and it was like Sonic. I think Sonic the Hedgehog and like NHL '94 were the only games. Was just classic, classic.
Right.
So that was the first game I ever remember playing. But the first game I ever beat was Mario RPG. So that was the first game I ever remember really like playing to completion. And I remember like I'll never forget the first time Bowser switches teams and he's like, we gotta team up, and that blew my mind. I was like single digit years old, and I'm like, that's not possible. Like that can't possibly be the case. Like how could we? I was like, no, I don't want to play this game anymore. I'm not teaming up with him. Like we don't negotiate with terrorists. I'm not having Bowser on the team here.
I can't.
So, and then like Peach joins the party as well. Gino, like justice for Gino. Also, just let's just put it out there. Hashtag justice for Gino. Because Nintendo wants to act like he doesn't exist or that Mallow doesn't exist.
That's a fact.
They want to act like they don't exist. I don't know why there's like Gino Mallow erasure, but
they definitely scrubbed his name off the pyramid wall.
Yeah. Right.
He don't exist. Like, that's a fact.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. But what is it? No, I mean, and that was the first game I ever beat. So I remember for hours, and I'm sitting on the floor unit TV, like digging in, probably as close as I am to my monitor right now. And I remember hitting the final boss, finally beating it, getting to the end credits, and I like the concept of a game being over, like just didn't register with me. I was like, well, there's got to be more.
Mm-hmm. And
this is, Super Mario RPG is not a short game. That's probably that's probably like a 40-hour game, right? Like maybe shorter than that, 30, 40 hours.
40, yeah. Could be. I don't honestly know.
And for me being like,
I remember. So
yeah, for me being like 9, that felt like 10 years. Like that took me, forever and a day. But I got to the game over screen and I was like, all right, what's next? Like, who we fight next? And it just didn't register. I left the TV on the entire night because I was like, no, there's got to be something else. Like, I'm gonna wake up and there's gonna be something else there. And
he wasn't accepting it.
No, I wasn't. I couldn't believe it. So I don't know. It's just always been a special place in my heart. I've gone back to it a million times. Like, still got a Super Nintendo in this house to this day, just to whenever I need a fix to go back to it. And that's like all my all-time like great comfort game too. If I ever need to go back to it and just kind of like get back to my roots, that's there. So yeah, that's why that's always been so ingrained with me. And I really wish Nintendo would at the very least put it on the Nintendo Switch Online shop, or like
so much stuff
at the least, the bare minimum.
Because they haven't done that with Wii. They haven't done that with damn near anything. Like that game is like lost to time, I swear. And I don't know why it won't come back. No,
I don't know if it's a Square thing. Or
I don't know if it's a licensing, maybe potential licensing.
I always wonder between like Square. That's another reason
why
when
we saw like Cloud in Smash, I was like, they're talking.
It's talking. Yeah. No, when you hear usually about like either back compat or any type of old thing. It generally comes down to licenseship and like legal ramifications, and then a lot of it comes down to they can do it, but if someone like had some type of creative control over it, they can come back and sue. So it's more of the fear of that if they bring it back, and then they're gonna have to pay somebody money. At least that's the talks I hear from a lot of hardware guys and studios and publishers and things like that.
I mean, Nintendo's got plenty of money with all the Wiis that they're selling. I mean, sorry, not Wiis. With all the Switches they're selling, they can't not sell a Switch. It doesn't matter what they do; they just keep selling it for whatever reason.
And it was on the Wii eShop. It was. I mean, I've bought that game probably 10 times over the course of my life.
So it came. Okay, so
it did on Wii.
Okay.
Yeah, it was on the Wii Shop. I had it on there. And
so it's just Nintendo being Nintendo. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, this is just Nintendo just busting them on me and just
no.
Not,
I will say the most Nintendo of Nintendo thing for the modern era. Like growing up, obviously Nintendo 64, like game changer, 3D graphics, and then after that it was kind of like GameCube was and then we had some cool moments. But Nintendo being Nintendo, the one that probably hurt me the most recently was when Switch, with just a software update, turned on Bluetooth for headphones. Pissed me off so much. I cannot tell you how mad I was when they're like, oh yeah, we're going to turn on wireless headphones for Bluetooth. I'm like, you're telling me you could have done that the entire time? It wasn't a hardware thing. It wasn't a new version. My OG Switch could have done it, and I was so
Don't even get me started.
That was probably one of the worst things.
Where were you when you realized it didn't have that in the first place? Where were you when you... Because I know where I was when I didn't know that. I didn't know it didn't have that capability until like 6 months after owning it.
No, I mean, I knew it pretty early on because I never really tried because I was like, oh, it just can't. So I was like, all right, give me a little headphone plug and this kind of sucks. And then now you start getting AirPods and other things. You're like, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. And then finally they're just like, Switch. I'm like, I was so
let's
mad.
just enable that feature 3 years into the console's lifespan. I mean, I played with it mostly docked, so it never really registered with me. I just never, I don't know. I got on a plane for the very first time with it, sat down, popped my AirPods in. I'm like, all right, let me get settled in here. All right, let me. You know what? I never paired these with my good old Switch. Let's just see what's going on. And I'm like, that's weird. There's no option for Bluetooth.
There's no option for Bluetooth.
Nope. But the Joy-Cons connect with Bluetooth, so it has Bluetooth.
Yep.
Don't get me started with that. It's the same thing with them, but I look at them as
their online voice chat is such a garbage.
Oh, bro, you don't want to use the app?
I'm hoping they hired some younger people somewhere that are a little modern. So when the Switch 2 comes out, that's like, maybe they get some stuff. Because man, I played like 10 hours. Well, I was going to say, I played like 10 hours of Breath of the Wild. Never like finished it because God knows what distracted me. Probably it was Destiny. Always does. I haven't got back into Breath of the Wild, but I'm just kind of going, Breath of the Wild 2? On the same thing, we like Bayonetta 2, everybody's like, oh, it's a really fun game. You can tell it's playing on a Switch. Like those moments. And I'm just like, it hurts me that Breath of the Wild 2, what's going to be an amazing game, I'm sure, is going to be sitting on that crappy piece of hardware, unfortunately.
Crispy 25 frames per second.
If you're lucky, I'm sure.
Buttery.
We're sitting here looking at like God of War with anywhere from like 4K 30 to Fidel, like high 120 frames per. I'm like, come on, Nintendo, come on. Like, can you imagine Zelda, Mario, just our classic Nintendo games running on a Series X or a PS5? Like, what they could do with the franchises would blow me away.
Nintendo with power would be an unstoppable force. Yeah. Like Nintendo,
dude, they don't seem to get it though. I'm just like, now granted, the Switch. Now I think
Switch first time though was at its launch. Like
no, but I will say like the Switch did something. Like, everybody was like, "This is gonna suck," and then it sells like mad. And I'm going, this little the commercials. Oh, you can play on the rooftop or whatever. All those things that they did.
The dudes on the basketball court.
Oh yeah, you want to sit over here and like, oh shoot hoops? No, we're gonna play Mario Kart on the court too. You're like, what are you doing? Somehow that thing sells gangbusters. But man, put some power in whatever the next thing is, please.
Yeah, I'm hoping for that Pro. Hopefully the rumors of a Pro are true. But
just give me a 2 at this point. It's too long. Just do a 2.
Yeah. I'm with you.
Yeah, I refuse to buy a like the cosmetic change.
I'm not buying an OLED. I'm not touching that.
I've never bought. I still got my launch model 3DS from the time that I never bought. There's been 20 different 3DS models. I never bought a single other one. I'm like, no, I'm good. This is it. I like my stock 3DS. I mean, the screen, I can like barely even see the screen anymore. But same thing with the Switch. I still got my launch model Switch. I'm not buying a Switch Lite. I'm not buying a Switch OLED. Like it needs to be a hardware upgrade.
Thank
or
you.
they can keep it.
I'm with you.
You know.
I'm being you in the same pocket. I resisted the temptation. I said they're trying to finesse me. I said the light has less features, and I was like, the OLED, that screen looked nice. What other power have you added? And I was like, oh no, I'm keeping my default model. Thank you.
Right.
Exactly.
Right.
Not
Exactly.
stronger. It's just like, oh, it looks a little better, but I'm like, nope. Because I played Metroid Dread. Fantastic game.
Great game.
Great game. Played on a trip. Like that actually ran. But I'm going, it was probably 540p running at like 60 frames or whatever frames it managed to squeak out of it. And I'm just sitting there thinking, damn near any other console, this would be just immaculately amazing. But no.
Oh, yeah. No, for sure.
Anyway, sorry. Enough on the history. Anything else anything else you want to talk about to bring it a little more modern before we go Destiny, since we're already 30 minutes in?
Before we go all the way with Destiny, I did want to ask about the World of Warcraft era for you, because I never really got caught up in that. And King, he went down. Him and Saul went down a dark path.
Did they? Wow, I never knew that.
Bro, King went down dark path. Bro, he had pseudo relationships. He had a wife in the game. Yeah, it was bad. Like he was spending real money.
I never took it that far. Next time I see King, I gotta ask him about that.
King, he'll admit it. He'd be like, "Yeah, it was dangerous." He was like, "That's the worst thing. Saul should have never put me onto this game." And then Saul was able to break away.
Saul for his second family in World of Warcraft.
Fact. So like, a lot of people, I know that some Destiny players, obviously Halo is a precursor, but also sometimes World of Warcraft, the MMO. So tell me about your venture into that.
Yeah. So same kind of story. I mean, that was the first online game that I really. That actually probably was the first online game that I played, was WoW. And I never played like RuneScape or EverQuest or anything like that. I had a very old, dusty PC in my like family like living room that could barely run anything. And I would go over to a buddy's house and they were showing me WoW, and I'm like, damn, I gotta check this out. So I went into the Funko Land at the time, which would later become EB Games, which would later be GameStop. And I was just like, I'm just gonna get as many WoW demo discs as I can carry, and see what this is all about. So I ran it at like a nice buttery 10 frames per second on my family computer. Couldn't even do. Actually, I had to keep doing the instances because there was less stuff to load. There was like less draw distance because you were just in like these little caverns, and I was like, wow, this game's great. Like I just did Ragefire Chasm like 400 times because I was like, this is unbelievable. But my dad ended up getting a new PC, and that was actually a lot more modernized because he doesn't even know how to check his email, but he was like, yeah, this should be good to like do email on, right? I'm like, this is way too this is so extra. This is so extra. Yeah. I'm like, okay, but I'll take it. That's fine, Dad. I'm gonna go ahead and install that. And that's what I really dived in. So same thing. I mean, so many like real life friends came from it. Nice. I was a freshman in high school when Vanilla came out. So that was like, by the time I graduated, that's when Wrath of the Lich King came out. So that might explain the lack of like college acceptances I got. I
heard that game ruined lives, bro. Every time we have someone on ILP and they talk about WoW, they talk about either how their career was in jeopardy, like school, like this thing was a crisis, like for real,
yeah. So I mean, once I had a computer of my own, that was a whole different ball game. It's always stuck with me. But kind of like you were saying with Destiny, with like the people that go back for the expansions, like that's more me now with WoW. Like I'll go back, I'll play the new story, I'll get that new content. Maybe I'll do the first raid tier or something like that. That's what I did with Shadowlands, and that's what I did with BFA. But the last expansion that I really played hard body was Legion, where I was like I was raiding like crazy. That's my favorite expansion I think ever. I'm optimistic about Dragonflight. I do want to play it, and right now it's been a struggle because I've been loving on Destiny, but Destiny's been kind of they've been on shaky ground.
We're gonna talk about it.
Around the same time, Season of the Mid dropped. We got the Dragonflight beta, and I was like, the Dragonflight beta was looking good. So it's been that was kind of my RPG roots, which led into Dungeons and Dragons, which led into. I was playing on an RP server, so people were telling me like, hail friend, I'm like role playing, I'm like solving people's marital problems on WoW. Crazy.
Yeah, you can
There's this
compete if you
meme that
want
floats
to.
around like every couple months. I see the same thing, and it's like a picture of this dude like hunched over his computer, and it's like 14-year-old me helping a 46-year-old woman through her divorce on World of Warcraft or something like that. And I'm like, bro, the amount of real deep conversations I ended up getting into with random people on WoW at like ungodly hours of the morning was just too much for a teenager to be going through. So
It's a different thing. I mean, there were like, I also remember like very large clans and stuff that truly had in-game funerals for somebody who would like pass away. They would like line up throughout an entire destination and like pay respects and all those things. Like, I mean, it was a thing. I haven't touched it. I went hard from opening through Wrath of the Lich King and then kind of fell off. So I did the first 3 expansion was my major.
I never noticed.
You've heard me talk about WoW. You know you have.
I remember.
Oh my God. I used to talk every so often. You're like, oh, WoW again, huh? Comparing Destiny to WoW. We have spoken about this.
It's been so long that we've had like an old school me and you talk about it.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. Wow, that's crazy.
It's there. Yeah. So, I mean, I played those 3. I mean, I had 2 characters that had 40 or 50 days in them. I mean, that's how they did the time. So it was like, yeah, I put some time in, but I mean, I just kind of fell off for whatever reason too. But I mean, it was for its time, especially, and even now, it's still the one that's held on besides Final Fantasy XIV. That seems to be one of the better ones. But what about this game Destiny that seems to have taken some of our lives over a little bit as well? And I kind of wanted to actually start off kind of with what you were saying, Dom. I wanted to get your thoughts on where is Destiny right now in the past couple of years, in the past couple of seasons, coming up to 19. Where is this game sitting for you in enjoyment, in coolness, and fun, and grind, and where is it? Where is it in your life? Where is it?
Yeah.
Where is it at?
Yeah. So I'm not sure what year we're in now. What is this, year 4, year 5 for Destiny 2?
5. Yeah.
Year 5.
Yeah.
So year 5. I mean, this is probably
7,
the most.
Yeah.
This is probably the most I've played Destiny ever. Is this year. I don't know like what clicked. The last time I was really, really hard into it was Season of Arrivals, which I really liked. Took a hiatus for a while. There was just not enough going on for me, and I didn't have like a good rhythm. Beyond Light, I think, came out, and it actually didn't grab me at first, and I wasn't really into Beyond Light, which I think was just, I don't know, I ended up going back to it later, and I ended up loving it. So I don't know. It was just it was actually the same time that like the Game Pass deal happened, and I was like, damn, like we're gonna like Destiny's gonna be free forever. This is gonna be the best. And that lasted for like 6 months. But
like that 1 year bait and switch hit some people hard.
Yeah. But no, I mean, Destiny for me this year has been pretty great. I mean, the Witch Queen is the most fun I've ever had with the game. By a long shot, and obviously, as many people heard in the intro, that includes Destiny 1. So this is the most I've ever enjoyed Destiny. I've played, Season of the Haunted was great. I really enjoyed that. I know a lot of people got sick of it, but I played Season of the Haunted a ton.
Really?
I have I was at one point leveling like all 3 characters at once, was seriously going in. And I mean, right now things are starting to fizzle out pretty quick with Season of Plunder. I know we got like a month and change left in the season.
Yeah.
I'm already to the point where I'm like, all right, I've completed the battle pass. I got like all these bounties that I'm just like not going to turn in now. My hunter's bounties are full.
Okay.
And I'm like looking at the Destiny recipes checklist, and it's like, you're ready to go for 10 levels of the next artifact.
Yeah, theoretically, last week was the start of bounty prep, but if you wanted to, it's going to be, because you'll start your Dreaming City bounties. You have 6 that you can start storing if you want to.
That was me like 3 weeks ago. I was like, all right, I guess I'll do this now, because the story, I don't know. I'm trying to like organize my thoughts here, but by and large, this year has been the most I've ever played Destiny by a very wide margin. I've caught up on exotic weapon quests that I just never got around to.
Nice.
I've been playing around with and getting through content that I've never really engaged with before, raiding a lot more when I can.
Nice.
I really want to try to do the new dungeon day 1 when that drops. So I think that'll be a lot of fun. But I'm having a great time with it. Got a great clan, and Yeah, it's just this season has been a little shaky right now.
No doubt, no doubt. I respect it. I respect it.
Where has this season landed for you? I know we've kind of touched on the story a little bit, but I mean, you've been busy with work and traveling and other things, and then and it's like, when it comes to priorities of podcasts and other things, it's like, are you reaching for it as like take, Witch Queen and Risen, Haunted and Plunder? How much, during those seasons, which one did you reach for Destiny the most in those three?
I mean, Witch Queen by far. I mean,
for sure, but it was like,
yeah,
once you kind of, later on in the season 2, especially.
yeah. I mean, I think I was still rocking and rolling. I think the issue right now is Plunder. And Plunder, I thought I was going to like it when it was announced. I thought I was going to like it more because I was like, all right, pirates, we rocking out. We're going to find out what's going on with Mithrax. We got that going on. And I felt I got too, you know what it is? My excitement for remember, when Plunder was announced, it was right at the same time Nightfall was announced. Right, so Nightfall got me through the roof. I'm like, oh, ready, cyberpunk vibes. We're gonna go to another location.
Trav wasn't into that. I was listening to that episode. He wasn't into it.
Yeah, Travis.
You got to find out.
He hates a lot of things, but that's normal.
I was like, you could go screaming. I said, you're not gonna play it? All right, then, shut up. So people kill me with that, but at the end of the day, shout out to Trav, I love him. But at the end of the day, I was like, okay, it's a great aesthetic, great villain. We're continuing the story. My man Osiris comes back, you know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna find out what's going on with this new kind of race of people, or what they call it. What is it? The Edge Runners? What they call
Cloud Striders?
Cloud Strikers. What they call
Cloud Striders?
Cloud Striders, yeah. The Edge Runners. Too much cyberpunk.
The Edge Runners. Yeah, the Edge Runners, like the anime. So I was like, all right, cool. But then Season of Plunder, nice trailer. Bungie always knocks it out the park.
Oh, their marketing team is undefeated. I'm
like, okay, Destiny and Sea of Thieves vibe. Okay, Fallen. Okay,
yeah.
And that story just dragged, bro. And it had a moment here and there with Idol, but it really let me down. And I didn't feel the payoff was as good as we've had in the past with with Pro and Haunted. We got a lot of great stuff that happened, and even the one before, what was the one before with Saladin had
Risen?
Was Risen, right? The one with Saladin had to step in and kind of save Crow, and then it was enlisted into Caiatl's thing and Iron Banner chain. I felt story wise, the seasons have always had these strong beats, but this one, for whatever reason, didn't hit me with the Aramis as much, and I just felt it was kind of filler, right? And then now when it came down to the content, of course, Taken King comes back. Fantastic. The homies are raiding. We're rocking. Shout out to Ducky in there. Shout out to, DJ back. Everybody, we rocking. And I love it. The weapons are great. I think this season for me, I'm going to tell you what it is, E. I really haven't been feeling the narrative and the gameplay loop as much, but there's been some great weapons and great loot combinations that really excite me. And I'm a build guy. So if you talk about builds, things that I could run with 2 perks like, Firefly and adaptive ammunition, the perk pools have excited me. When the rewards from doing duality dungeon, duality excited me, that kind of stuff. But as far as the actual gameplay of Season of the Lost, I mean the Festival of the Lost, nah. So it's been one of those type of weird seasons for me where I'm like, okay, I got everything done. I'm good. I'm just now filling in the blanks. I'm working on what Don is saying. I'm working on older things that have kind of passed me by. I got to get the collective obligation from Vow of Disciple. There's a couple of pulses, the King's Fall pulse. I still got to get a solid roll. You know what I'm saying? And also the fusion that you can get Reservoir Burst with the origin trait. That would be crazy. So I'm trying to get build ready. So for the next season, I'm ready to go. But that's pretty much what it's been for me. So what about you, E? How you been navigating full-time Destiny content creator? You?
As we look at this next month, it's gonna be harder. It's gonna be a struggle. I know part of it is gonna be prepping for stuff in season 19, making sure I'm bounty ready and stacked because we'll get to the launch date for the new dungeon, but there's minimal time to get ready for that. So of course, the higher you are, the better that will help. Of course, it's not required to bounty prep. Some people frown upon that, but it's just part of one of those things. If you're a content creator, it helps to get that 20 plus on your pass. So Just kind of looking ahead to that. I mean, trying to do dungeon guides theoretically for all of them as they get featured, as they kind of go through rotation. But no, I was like this next month because at this point, as of today, don't ask me why, 77 of 77 or whatever it is challenges. Every seasonal challenges. What are you uh-ohing?
No, the way you said yo, dog, didn't he sound like when he said as of today? Like, didn't I feel like he was gonna get he quit Destiny announcement?
No,
that's just gonna be like uninstall the game. I'm closing down the YouTube channel.
Really,
shutting the studio down.
really think that's no.
Bro, you set that up. You scared me. I didn't know where this was going.
Okay, well, you have a fun outlook on things, but no. I literally like logged in to do a couple things today, and as of today, I am 77. Like all seasonal challenges done. I even reset Gambit and got the ornament from Gambit.
You got the memento?
No, well, I got the ornament for Crime Mutiny, so that was like the last thing I needed. Like somebody on Monday dragged me through a Grandmaster, so I got that done. And then they took me through another because there was only like 4 triumphs and basically everything was done. And I looked down there and I'm going, I basically needed, after I got done with what we did, I was like, I just need to run one Grandmaster as Stasis. I'm like, you guys want to run the same thing? I'm just going to be a little less helpful this time on my subclass. And they're like, sure. So literally that was the last thing I had to do. So Conqueror is now done. I had Conqueror before. Like I ran it with Silver Spear and her, and I forget who helped. They ran me through like 6 in like 2 days. So I got the old, but it's like the legacy, like the gray and white one that like, if you look at it doesn't really count. So when I go to the Nightfall thing, when the little node pops up where you can pick all the Grandmasters whenever you want to, like at least to run them once, I haven't had that. So I'm like, I want this damn title so I can finally have the option to do that. So I got to help and check that. So now I at least have the Grandmasters that I can literally go try anytime if I want to stupidly solo them. We'll see if any of those happen, that kind of thing. And then it was just a couple other little things. But yeah, I got Ghost Rider Gilded. I got Scallywag done. I got Dredgen Gilded. So that was like, and I'm looking at
playing.
I'm
you
like
at login for
no. I am so done. Are you kidding me? That's the thing right now. I'm looking at like 36 days or whatever left, and I'm going 30. How many days till we? I've checked basically all the boxes I care to check. So now, granted, it's amazing timing for God of War next week. I could not love the timing of this better because it is going to be during Iron Banner. I already gilded Iron Banner. I'm done with that too. I gilded it last season. I gilded it like when it dropped early in the season.
Dom just got up.
He's like, I'm done. No, so it's like I gilded. No, Flawless I haven't done. I will say like Trials. That is where I'm terrible.
He plays this game.
I'm like season rank 250 or 248 or something. So I'm way
man
too
plays
high.
for keeps. See, anytime I see like a 200 plus season rank, and I'm like, I think I was like 130 something, 200 plus, and I'm like, I'm playing this game as much as I possibly can, which is not that much, and I'm not like a full time
makes a difference.
I see somebody like 230 or 250 or something like that. I'm like, damn, there's lots of beautiful green grass outside, and I encourage. I
literally did some yard work yesterday. I was all in the grass. So
look at you.
But that's kind of like I'm getting to this point for this season where it fits very well for God of War perfectly because it's like Iron Banner, cool. Literally just gonna no life God of War for the week. Fine.
Nice.
The week after that, everyone has speculation. There's some community event. We talked about it last time. Don't know what.
Right.
But collect 900,000 pieces of scrap.
Probably something along those lines, and nobody knows, but it's like, I'm hoping it's not that, but I'm speculating it will be that, being as our previous community events have been something like that. And whether you contribute or not, at some point, Bungie's going to go ka-chink, and it's done. So, take all that for what you will. But I'm at the point where, like, this is the test for a content creator for Destiny this coming month, right here, when there ain't nothing.
Separate the men from the boys.
Yeah, and I got to see about getting creative, especially because, got a chance at another ad integration. So I'm like, all right, the hell is gonna? So I was like, part of stuff is like, all right, bounty prep is one thing, as you said. Some of the bounty prep you can start doing. I do want to I need to actually run Deepstone Crypt like a couple of times because I want to like build a guide for next season.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I
was
want to
about say,
build a
'cause
guide
I
for
was like,
next season, so it's like a
okay, I was
modern
about to say,
guide
got it. Yeah. 'Cause I
because
was about
you're
to
going to
say,
be
you know,
farming it
new
next
tricks are
season.
coming.
Oh yeah, no,
facts,
it's like I don't want to like no life it because I don't want to like
Yeah.
farm the crap out of it or anything. But I want to be
Mhm.
comfortable enough where I could make a guide and then put it out on the channel to launch when like, hey, it's the featured raid. Bam, that's my Tuesday video. So like that's the type of stuff I'm thinking about. But just for like the next 4 to 5 weeks is I have destinied myself this season, and it's been like the Gambit thing just like happened, and I was just like I was rolling through playing some matches because I was like, Crime Mutiny, and it's like they have the bonus rep, and then like if you get a win, you get like 500. I'm like, well, I can just get like some wins and some games going here when it's bonus rep to get like
That's how you
like
killed
Crime
it.
Mutiny. Yeah, it's like you just blow through it pretty quick. So if
Right,
it's the featured one, it goes fast. So it's like random stuff like that has like then pushed me to stupidly do more. I crafted my last weapon for plunder, for example.
Which one?
The
Fusion, linear.
linear fusion. I finally got the
I
sixth,
figured,
the
yeah.
fifth one. That was the last one I needed. So that is, I have crafted all the weapons for this season. I'm done with all of those. So I mean, I really am kind of like, I'm not gonna go for like, I'm not gathering all the triumphs like Scarrow or Teddy, or I'm not going for like 250 champions and stuff. But that's the thing is like, I know how much I've played, and I know I've like probably burnt myself out a little bit to a point. But I also think how much time I've put in to check some of these boxes, and I'm going, the average person who plays like a couple nights a week or plays some on the weekend. I mean, even as Dom said, he's like, I've only played a solid amount, and he's like level 130. Some of this stuff, even just like the 50 ruffians until they changed it recently, it's just so
Crazy.
I'm hoping I know they can only learn on about a 6-month time frame, and I'm hoping they take some of the feedback from this season into Lightfall. But the grindy nature of this season feels like one of the worst, paired with some of the lightest story weeks to go with it. And then even Scarrow was like, catch crash. It was like, do that maybe once and then go live in Expedition or
very weird.
You didn't do catch cash as much, even though that was like the cooler, fun one to do. The push into Master, even though it's not there, I've done a few LFGs to test it out. It's okay. It's just been a weird season for me. Like, after, as you said, the emotions of Haunted, the up and down and roller coaster, it's like, oh my god, reconciliation. Oh my god, reconciliation. And then this one's like, as we said, croutons, half your salad, couple more croutons, and then the rest of your salad. Like this season was a salad. Last season was like
a salad.
Yeah, this is that would have to be Saladin, unfortunately. That'd have to be Season of Iron Banner.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
it's been all of those little things added up together. This is definitely a weak season, and it is kind of that time for. And next season may be the banger going into Lightfall, but this is definitely the weak season of the year, without a question.
Yeah, it so Season of the Haunted. Like I didn't love the Nightmare containments, but you just had to do a couple of them. You basically had to do 3 waves a week, and you were good. So it was okay. I could live with that. And sometimes hand up, I would leave and go back and see if I could find one that was like almost over, so I could just kind of get credit for it. Hand up. I'm not innocent.
Oh, good. So good. I respect the hustle.
With Plunder, and like you were saying with Sea of Thieves, I was on a massive Sea of Thieves kick. I was on a massive like Pirates kick. When Season of Plunder got announced, and I was like,
he's over there running Catch Crash, watching Pirates of the Caribbean on that other monitor.
God, yeah. Oh, please believe it. I put the Sea Shanties playlist on Spotify. I was ready to go. And like I wish that the activities even, I wish they were backwards. I wish it was like expedition. You do the one expedition, and you like maybe you find coordinates to where the ship battle is going to take place, and then do Catch Crash 3 times. I don't care, because I could do Catch Crash 10 times a day, and I would have no problem with it. I love Catch Crash. It's fun. The expeditions, it's like watching grass grow. Like I'm literally just out there, like, all right, let's move this thing along. Let's just keep it going.
No,
let's move it along.
I think when it comes up to the point where we got to pick something up and throw it at something, Season of the Worthy or Unworthy with the public event. We got this thing. We had for some reason, like the dunking moats isn't as bad as pick up and throw, pick up and throw, pick up and throw, pick up and throw.
And then queuing into one of them, and you're the only one there. Oh. I was like,
oh damn!
So our controller's getting broken. A monitor's getting broken. This is the second time this week, and so But like I ran through King's Fall more times than any other raid.
Yeah.
Because I never played it in D1. So I
Mhm.
got
Oh, that's
I had like
right.
15 Oryx kills, still no touch of malice. Like 15
Mhm.
Oryx kills, still no touch of malice.
Yeah. You're not salty at all. You're not salty.
No,
Not at all.
sodium
It's
free.
it's
But like 20 something duality clears, and I love dual. I'll do it 5 more
Valley's
times.
amazing.
Oh wait, it's so good.
You know what's funny? That's probably I probably run the duality the most out of every dungeon. I'm trying
Easily.
as
Really?
much as I still have prophecy probably up there. I find myself running. Should I say enjoying it more? It's something about duality I
Yeah.
like. I
The
can't.
audio logs.
I
and
will
everything,
definitely
like the lore,
say
it's just like dripping with good lore.
Yeah,
and like
it's
this
and
just yeah.
the Stranger Things vibe, the upside down kind of hit the bell, flip it on its head, and then you get the, I don't know, even like you said, the lore too, because like when I'm going through it, and then he's talking about Caiatl, like I named her Caiatl after my star, my shining star. Whatever. I don't know, it's just something about it I really enjoy, and I do love the loot pool. I have to admit. You got a good loot pool. You got Cog, like you because what's the Lydia fusion? The
Storm Chaser.
Oh, and then the
People
pulse
dropped Storm Chaser like a bad habit when the
yeah.
Taipan came out, and I'm still not over that.
The Taipan came out, everybody forgot about Storm Chaser.
I mean, if you didn't have a good one, it's just craft a god roll and you're done. Yeah, it was
you're done.
nice.
Yeah, facts. But I'm sorry, you were about to say something about duality.
I
You
did
about to
have
talk
a-
Oh
about
no,
Dungeon Slander.
no, like duality is somewhere in the middle of the ranks. I don't know where it falls, but I will say, like every so often when I think about going back to run, what is the one on Cosmodrome? I'm blanking.
Oh, you mean the pirates Grasp of Avarice?
Grasp.
Yeah, Grasp of Avarice.
That is
Yeah.
the bottom. I gotta say that is.
I don't run Grasp. It was fun when it happened.
No, like I will say now, like as a solo player, I can solo Pit pretty easily, pretty handily, not a problem. Bosses feel reasonable. I can solo Shattered Throne, soloed Prophecy. I've soloed all of them. And soloing Duality, it feels more active generally, even though it is a bit tedious to go through the rotations just for DPS. I will say, when you get just when you get to the ogre and then you see how much damage you can do by yourself without like some stupid, crazy pickable, like some ridiculous build, the ogre's health pool is dumb. It is so, and then when you get to go, if you're going to go solo the final end of Grasp, you've got first I got to go work on the shank. Then I got to work on the guy down below. Then it's just like, it is a very tedious. And then you get to the big room where you got to launch the things at it to open the, it's just like, it was like fun at the time, but man, like it has aged the poorest of, I think, all the dungeons. I would say, I think for sure, because like Prophecy, I think is still
where you at?
it's definitely near the top. Like Prophecy is near the top for sure. I can't decide if it's number one because I just don't know. I haven't played Duality. I need to go back through and work on these guides to get a feel where I'm going to land them all. But Prophecy is definitely still near the top with the unique nature, just like the Sparrow run for Rainbow Road, the boss room, and then the moving boss room, and then
I love the boss.
just the light and dark. Just it was so unique. Like the first one was like Shattered Throne was amazing. First dungeon, very cool. Pit of Heresy basically kind of took and tweaked each encounter and kind of made them a bit more challenging and a little unique and hive themed. I'm like, all right, cool. And then Prophecy was like, all right, now we're gonna take it up to like the next level. Yeah. And it did. And then Grass was like, hey, it was kind of cool once, and then now Duality is like probably somewhere in like 2 or 3. I don't like probably 3. I still think Prophecy, Shattered Throne, Duality, probably for me.
Yeah, you a Shattered Throne guy. That's your heart.
That was my first one though, because I mean, like we didn't even know that was coming, and all of a sudden I'm like, this is a solo 3. This is amazing. Like that's, and I still love like just I don't know the feeling of going through it. And I made a map for the opening of Shattered Throne. I like made this horrible like paint. It's in Microsoft Paint, which is like boxes and horrible. And that tweet every so often, because I didn't turn notifications on it, 4 or 5-year-old tweet every so often gets a like.
Gets a like.
Somebody finds that thing somehow, and it cracks me up. So I was like, but yeah, I agree. Duality's not bad, but yeah, Grasp, man. Every time when I go to get to that ogre, I'm like, because I can solo up to the ogre, and then I'm like, oh, it's just tedious to get through.
It is.
Anyway, sorry.
No, you good.
Got off on a bit of a rant there, but
one last thing on season 19.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I mean, while we were talking about the story and stuff like that, and when I got to that last story beat, and the cutscene that we got was like it's all the stuff that was in the trailer. The trailer showed us that fight.
Straight up.
Showed us Aramis getting away. And I was like, no, they didn't just play the trailer for me, right? Like, surely this, and Ido was saying that she saved her life, and I'm like, well, where was that? You weren't gonna show us that? From who?
Yeah.
From the Hive?
Screen.
Let me see her cutting down Hive with the the cutlasses that they were using that Fallen have now, because that's cool, and like they're fighting, they're dueling. I love the lore. They kind of buried the lead on the fact that oh my god,
the Witness.
Nezarec led
was the
collapse
story for me.
He was the guy or whatever. He was the thing that harbingered the collapse. He was the general.
Yes.
And they that was hidden in the hold down X to place the relic voice memo. Like that should have been an animation.
I agree.
This dude was the reason why we're here. We're at this point in the first place, and you bury that lead. People, I always forget to place my relics. Same thing with the little callous bobbleheads in Season of the Haunted. I always forget to put them down, and then I was like, oh wait, I got a little voice thing to do, and then I'd go sit there and tent my hands and say, okay, what do we got for it now? And it's like now we know that Nezarec was the leader of the armies of the darkness that came and wiped out our entire star system the first time. I'm like, this is just a little voice log,
bro. It's huge, man. I mean,
I want to know more.
Same for me. I mean, as Warlock, man, it hit different because you know what I'm saying. The was it Nezarec Sin, the exotic Warlock stuff. There's a lot of stuff. And I always like, who is Nezarec? Like, what's going on? And then the what you call the glaive that we got with the last season,
the Curse of Nezarec, or the Nezarec's Whisper.
Something, Nezarec Whisper.
Yeah.
Which is it's a great glaive. And you start to get the pieces, and you try to figure it out. So I thought that was a really cool tie-in to get the lore on that. And I feel they should do way more because that to me was more exciting than the Fallen stuff, to be honest.
Yeah. And they were doing that. This is what they did with the Hive for so long. They were just like, it was kind of just like tell, don't show. With the Hive, like, it must be Savathun. Like she's out there somewhere being spooky. And, until we got the Witch Queen expansion and then we finally, all this stuff came to a head.
Yep.
Anytime anything Hive related would come up for years, my eyes would glaze over because I'm like, I can't keep up with the sword logic. And, I guess I'll just go kill some space bugs and that's that.
Space bug killing it.
Anytime I heard Eris talk, I was like, come on, not now. What is it now? But but then they flipped it around and they did a whole lot of show with Witch Queen, and I'm like, yeah, hell yeah. So hopefully, I really hope that the next season is like all Nezarec all the time, because you can't just let that fade out into the background.
I feel like there's got to be something with Nezarec and the relics. There's got to be the Awakening of Osiris, because he's part of Lightfall, so you got to have his somewhere dream at some point. So you've got a couple things that feel like they have to happen, but there's also other things people really want to happen before we get to Lightfall. Yeah, I just don't. I mean, theoretically, Rasputin's hanging out in an Engram.
Rasputin's hanging out.
That's the one I hear everybody occasionally like talk hope or otherwise. So it's, and we're gonna get that trailer on December 6th, like 8 o'clock in the morning or 7 o'clock. Now that daylight saving time is done, and it's just gonna be. But until then.
Until then.
Yeah, this story, don't show, because I mean, you said it was like, oh, there's this sword fight between Aramis and Mithrax. I'm like, when is that? When is that? And I'm like,
the last 30 seconds of the
last
story
30 seconds of the whole story. Yep. And it was in the trailer, and that was unfortunate. So hopefully season 19 brings something a little more. I know this. It's hard to ask for like, hey, I hope this season brings more when it's like it's a $10 season. If you have any idea how much time I put into a $10 season, it's dumb how much time I've put into it. And even like an average person for $10, you get a lot of stuff. But it is still
the business model.
Yeah, it's like that's the model. So then you turn around and how does it feel when you get done? Or how does the story feel? How does it deliver? And that's I think where we're kind of ranking them on. It can't be how much it costs. It's how is the product they delivered to us.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know what? I'll pay more for better content if you want to. I mean, if you want to do that. I mean, Destiny is finally, over the last like year or so, like marketing itself as the action shooter MMO. And if you want to, to walk and talk like an MMO, you gotta act like one. You know, you gotta like structure yourself like one. Like you have to have that content that is gonna keep people engaged for any. I mean, I had so much fun with Witch Queen. You know, halfway through or whenever the Lightfall pre-orders went live, I got that pre-order deluxe edition. Bang, give me all 4 seasons because I know they're gonna all be bangers. And then Season of the Salad came out, and I was like, damn. But you know, but if you want to be an MMO, you got to be an MMO. Like you got to. Where's the Sony money?
And you stupid. And they got to have stability.
It's gonna be a while until you see any of that play out in other IPs, I'm sure. Exactly. And honestly, that Sony money is probably going to whatever Saga is after Final Shape is where I would imagine any of that stuff's going to show up.
So what else going on here?
Well, we got TWAB. Was actually a little more than I expected. I figured this TWAB was going to be real light because there's not much next week, but we got a pretty good TWAB. Big thing they've got is they jumped into the sandbox to talk about abilities, and I kind of figured this was coming at some point because we had Arc, Solar, and Void 3.0, and now this is going to be the season of Balance 3.0.
Yes.
And that's kind of what we're going to get. Between the super energy, like your super recharge times getting done, and then they did it to grenades and abilities, and all these things have different times. Now they can piece them out and try and balance them based on recharge times and that. And they're trying to make sure Crucible is not all abilities and try and get back to their 60-40. They're kind of making tweaks to some of the pain points. This is in no way like a full patch notes, but we'll start with Solar.
Yeah.
Solar 3.0 basically introduced a lot of healing is what they were trying to go for, is one of the words. Restoration and Radiant, and basically they're saying Restoration is just too strong. PvP, it is a nightmare. I know with things like Loreley and stuff like that, it is just an absolute bear. PvE does make you really, really strong as well.
It does.
I can't argue because I can run around with the healing hammer and sunspots and all those things. I'm just real strong. So Restoration, but they're not killing it. I will say, like the nerfs here don't sound awful. They sound reasonable. So Restoration times 1 for PvP is going from 25 down to 20 per health per second. Restoration times 2 is going from 40 to 32.5 per second. That's PvP. And then PvE times 1 is going from 50 to 40. Times 2 is going from 80 to 65. 80, if you get like 3 ticks of that, you're healed.
Yeah.
And then if you go 65, it's 4 ticks healed. Like you're still going to be doing okay if you get to times 2. Times 1 is going to take a little longer, but I mean, it's not going to be useless. You probably just can't stand in the middle of everything and tank it all with just your body anymore. So it's probably going to take a little more. They also said it will no longer stack with the Healing Rift. Now as a Titan, I don't have that, but for the Warlocks and Rifts, you're not going to have Healing Rift and Restoration, just unkillable, I'm sure.
Yeah, it's very strong. It's, as a Warlock main, I have to admit, that combination when Solar 3.0 dropped and they had that, it was, and there was also like a fragment.
The mod?
The mod from the artifact that was just insane to stack with it. So it was definitely.
That was your class ability healing you instantly. So if you used that with the Healing Rift, you had 2 times plus your Healing Rift. Yeah, you were probably unkillable. I wasn't quite that strong, but damn.
Then you combine that with the resilience buff that dropped. So now you triple stacking. Basically, on being unkillable.
You just stand there in front of a boss and be like, "Hit me." Try it again.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then the other side is
happy with Solar 3.0.
You aren't?
I'm not happy with that part of the TWAB anyway.
Oh, you're not happy? Oh, this was your...
This is your golden gun. We'll get there in a sec. So, also a couple things for Radiant. They basically just said it's having very minimal drawbacks. So the duration of Radiant is going to go down from 10 seconds to 8 seconds for Ember of Torches. Also going to be a -10 discipline while equipped. And then Ember of Solace is going to also decrease the bonus. So 50% instead of a flat 5 seconds. So you used to be able to get Radiant all the way up to 15 seconds. Now you're going to be able to cap it up at like 12.
Yeah. And it affects me. I got a build for this.
Radiant build?
And then my what is it? Those Warlock boots that work with fusion rifles and linear fusion. So any kills with those, you pop Radiant immediately.
Oh.
And I had a sick. I mean, it's still not that bad.
I was like, you can refresh it though. That's kind of
you
the
can refresh
thing.
it.
That was the thing. Like for me with like my throwing hammer, because melees can proc Radiant. So the throwing hammer can do it. So it's like, as long as I'm just generally proccing it, but yeah, it just won't hang out as long. Like if you're going to try and do that and then pop switch over to Galley for some bonus damage, won't hang out as long.
Shout out to Down Take Show. Yeah, my Rain of Fire boots. Yeah, I'd run like Vex and then whatever hot linear, obviously now Taipan, and then I'll do like a kinetic fusion with like Deliverance from Vow. Bro, you'll be procking Radiant every second. So it's still gonna be lit, but you know, it's just something to pay attention.
We're just gonna skip over, knock him down, no big deal. I'm just kidding. No. I wanted to take longer on that, so I just wanted to actually touch on the Celestial Fire thing with Cog real quick. So Celestial Fire, basically it says increase close range melee damage from 90 to 100. So basically it's the fact that did Celestial Fire, if you like, you know, you can like trade punches and 2 punches to each other kills each other. If you did Celestial Fire, would you just always lose? Like you wouldn't kill him, or
it would. You would not win the. Sometimes you get that trade off if both die, you'd lose. But Celestial Fire, the advantage of Celestial
just
Fire
wasn't like matching half the damage or something.
The damage, the advantage of Celestial Fire, because to be honest, I like the little gunfire slap, right? Yeah. But the weakness with it is when when somebody run down on you try to do this, like you getting the beats, they gonna be Joe. So Celestial Fire kind of stopped that, and now they're gonna give it, from my understanding, a little bit more range and a little bit more power in close. So no, that's actually a great change. That's a great change to make it on balance.
Yeah. Now, unfortunately, on the other side, we got knock him down for Golden Gun. So I'm gonna say what happened. Golden Gun now provides 15% bonus damage resistance to Deadshot Golden Gun, but no longer provides bonus duration. And I think that's bonus duration based on kill. It no longer provides 15% damage bonus resistance to Marksman Golden Gun. For Blade Barrage, also reduced the bonus projectiles from 5 to 3. Now it releases a total of 20 knives, down from 24. Dom, how you doing, man?
How we feeling right now? What's going on?
Bungie never loved us. Bungie never loved us. This is inconscionable. Is the only word I can come up with. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I never felt that the Golden Gun. I've always been a Blade Barrage guy. Ever since Blade Barrage came out, I loved when Solar 3.0 came out. I was like, Blade Barrage is good. It's useful. Like I don't have to throw on Celestial Nighthawk.
Yeah,
like, you know, I can leave that in the vault.
Yeah.
I'm leaving Celestial Nighthawk in the vault, and Blade Barrage is going to be the, you know, man, it felt so good in Duality too. I mean, it's still going to feel fine. It's still fine. But then when Knock 'em Down came out, I was like, wow, this is like the burst DPS that I want as a hunter, like as the glass cannon, as like, you know, doing that, you know, I don't know, that just helped with that fantasy of like this giant, you know, fan of flaming knives. And it's probably not going to be that noticeable, like, but it just feels like a lot. It feels like that the whole reason to play Solar 3.0 Hunter was to have that crazy burst damage. And now they're just like, we'll just take that down a couple of pegs. And yeah, I don't know. My eyes immediately went to, when I was scrolling through the TWAB, just kind of skimming through it, I saw Knock 'em Down and I was like, no. And I just like zoomed right in on it. I knew it wasn't going to be good. And I don't know. You know, Hunters were on a hot streak for a little bit. We got the rope dot thing in Nightfall. You know, I felt like Knock 'em Down and Solar 3.0 was good.
Seriously.
Shadowkeep.
Arc 3.0, we finally got a fun super to use. And I was like, man, Hunters are up. Like, so whoever the guy was that was in charge of all the good Hunter ideas must have got fired. Because now
he got moved to another team, and then somebody else took his spot and be like, oh, this stuff's a little out of whack here. Somebody hasn't been checking the analytics on this one. I got to bring him back and check.
Yeah, this guy from accounting, he's a Hunter man, and he, he was running all these numbers for us. And he actually was shaving a couple of points off. So we're gonna bring this back down to earth. But yeah, and Blade Barrage is also just not great in PvP either. So and now it's even worse. So
I feel you, man. You're going through a rough one right now.
It's a bad day to wear a cloak. Is what I'm saying. This is a dark day.
It's all right. You got the best looking class item anyway. Me and my butt towel. So cosmetics. I got some good stuff.
The whack bling on the arm, and nobody.
Yeah, you got your little. You got your little arm patch over here. You got your little, you got your nicotine patch on your arm over here.
Like, gonna get a better class item. Fam, like
What- I
sometimes
mean-
you have it on, they don't even realize it. It looks like it's
Granted,
part
I
of
will
your
say
arm
some of
suit.
your exotic ornaments though beat
Ornaments
everybody
is
without
lit.
a question.
Oh, Warlocks, we know how.
No question.
Bro, our drip, Warlock drip is crazy when you get when
So I was
we
like,
get right.
Titans flow somewhere in the bottom of the cosmetics. Then Hunters got cool cloaks, and then Warlocks
be
get
fly. Hunters
an
be
exotic
fly.
ornament that looks like just majestic greatness. And I'm going the
I
same.
have to admit.
Yeah, so you can't have it all. You got to deal with the little nicotine
Yeah.
patch so you can have the great exotic armor.
Yeah.
So
I feel like Warlock should have like a book, like a tome or something that like floats in
actually
front
be
of them.
cool, but I was like,
Or
your
like an
hands are
orb.
busy, so you know.
Mhm.
Like a wizard. I don't know, something like wizardy.
Like that. No, there's an emote with a book,
Yeah.
and I missed out on buying
That's
it. and I
almost
gotta
too much.
get
Like that's almost too much fantasy wizard if they go
I
into that as opposed to
need that.
Warlock, though. But yeah.
I need that.
Anyway,
Good.
Void.
Yes.
First one, I had no idea this was a thing.
Yes.
Void Overshield. Granted, for a Titan, this actually feels great. Fixed an issue where the Overshield was only providing 25% PvE damage mitigation rather than the intended 50%. I'm going, what?
That was
Yo.
broken?
I was like, I
broken.
did not know that was even broken.
Oh, it's about to be on. I got
So
some
like,
crazy.
well, no, I
builds on
pop a
shit.
barricade and I've got an Overshield. Run behind it again and rebuff that Overshield. I'm like, Void might be fun. This
Yeah,
might
Void
like
been lit.
the Void. Void Walker, your Vortex Nova Bomb about to be a little more potent. So the
Mhm.
projectile speed increased by 21%. Also, the radius and strength of the inward pull by 17 and 20% respectively. I mean, your Vortex is going to be strong. Is that enough to make you use it versus like it's going to go chase me down? Or the Vortex is
Look.
like throw it and land and like the pull, right?
Yeah, because Cataclysm is dope because you could just throw it. It's slow, but once it hit, it's gonna hunt you down. It's gonna
Yeah.
chase all other little
I
things.
think it chases
So-
you too damn long. I'm like, come on, I can't outrun this
It is
thing.
long.
It's just
Yeah,
like turning
Cataclysm is
corners.
extra.
It's got GPS.
Yeah.
I'm going,
It definitely got GPS on it.
Yeah, it's
definitely
ridiculous.
charging you down. You know, listen, Vortex, I will say though, I've got more of an affinity for it in PvP because Cataclysm can mess you up. And it's, the thing they got to fix with Cataclysm on PvP is if you're in close proximity and you throw it, Cataclysm can kill you.
Yeah.
Which is stupid to me. I was like, all right, that makes no sense. But Vortex does not.
I mean, it is
Vortex
a big
quick.
giant bomb. You shouldn't probably stand on your own bomb.
It's just a little weird. I don't know, my own fantasy, but all right, you know, it is what it is. But the thing with this, what I like though, to me, is what separates Vortex is once it lands, it leaves almost like that baby dust-filled fog grenade,
yeah.
right? So now if I got a strong pull, you know what I'm saying, and then like that's actually could be effective. I just want to back up though, because with the overshield thing, the other thing people sleeping on, yo, don't sleep on a repulsor brace, the perk.
True.
Because anything that you proc with it, and now the overshield's gonna do that. I got a sick what's the vial? I mean the Taken King Scout that everybody liked. The Chelsea? Is this
Doom of
Yeah, Doom of
Shelches.
Shelches.
bro? I got
Crazy.
a Void Joy. Obviously it's Void already, but I got it with like adaptive. I love adaptive munitions, by the way. People sleep on that perk as well. And
It's not as
repulsor
strong as it
brace.
should be.
It actually be ripping shields down for me. I don't know. You be having problems.
Oh my god,
like
really?
full-time?
We're gonna
Full-time?
do that right now?
We're gonna do that.
Using
Let's
scout
do that.
rifles full time?
I'm using scout rifles when I'm forced to use scout rifles. In
No,
when
but
the
I'm
meta
just
tells
saying,
me.
like, I've
you don't like
watched
about
the numbers proc,
Okay.
but when it's something that matches, it's like it's kind of basically it may be fine. It more reminds me how much I hate the color matching game of the shields.
Oh, okay,
It's more
okay.
that I would say than anything. But it's like, I mean, I guess I haven't done enhanced adaptive. I haven't tried that
Yes,
specific combo.
Enhanced adaptive.
But if I'm
on
going-
Grandmasters, Nightfalls, it be ripping through shit. And what I like about it, not to cut you, what I like about it is the fact that it doesn't have to be like we always say, all right, if I got Void, you got to rip down the Void. If you use an adaptive like a Void Scout on a solar shield, I'm seeing the difference. I'm like, yo, I am tearing through an enemy shield when I don't even have the right, element to match. But continue. That's what you said.
No, but yeah, I was like, I know enhanced actually ups those numbers quite a bit, but normal, it just, it's more the fact that I was like, whether it's this, it's like a crutch because like still shields are annoying, but here's another way to get around our mechanic that it's more that like, I'm just kind of like, because I have an Ogma that I love. Like I have an Ogma with, it's not the best perk ever, but it is adaptive and turnabout. So if you break a shield, you get an overshield. And it's like you need pulse rifles in damn near everything. So it's a solar pulse rifle with turnabout and adaptive. So if I break whatever type of shield I'm facing, I get a shield.
Right.
and it's a pulse rifle, which tends to come up frequently in some type of champion need. So it's, but it's also, it's just like I'll use it out of necessity, and I've even told people in my videos, I'm like, I'm using this one specifically for a lost sector because it has these benefits here, but also in my head, I'm like, I hate the fact that it exists. So it's that kind of thing.
Oh, okay. You just hate shield
It's just
batching.
I'm tired of it, that kind of thing. So Sentinel Titans apparently are improved reliability upon applying suppression with your shield bash, which is I guess your throw. So sure, I'm not a PvP main guy for applying suppression, but apparently it's supposed to be currently whiffs too many targets, especially when they're airborne. So it's supposed to be more accurate. Yeah, I mean, I don't use shield bash because it generally sucks, but that maybe it'll help. Who knows? Void 3.0. So they're going to make a bigger distinction between, now this I'll be curious on you, Dom, a bigger distinction between Deadfall and Mobius Quiver. So they said increase the tether anchor time when triggered from 8 seconds to 12 seconds for Deadfall, and the Mobius Quiver from 8 seconds down to 6. So for one, just remind our listeners, what's the difference between Deadfall and Quiver?
I have no idea.
Hold on, let me see here.
I have no idea. I think
Mobius Quiver's hybrid. Oh, okay, Mobius Quiver is the one where people like just throw the burst DPS on a boss.
Yes.
I think that's, and then Deadfall is the one that's
Deadfall is like the
big, farther reaching, more, right? Farther reaching grapple kind of thing. Okay, that makes sense. Yes, so the farther reaching lasts longer. Your DPS dump won't last as long, but the DPS is still going to be there, but the tether's not going to last as long. So you can still dump the 3 for DPS, but it just won't hang. Siva text over there in chat like sad.
Listen, the injustices that we've dealt with. First, Jafalcon's Hauberk. Let's talk about Jafalcon's Hauberk not being available for the entire goddamn season.
I mean, you want to know the better part of Arc 3.0? My shoulders or gauntlets were disabled, and then they came back and they're useless. Mine are worse than your Gerfalcon, handily.
I thought that it was just going to get nerfed into the dirt because I ran a legendary lost sector, like, I don't know, some north of like 15 times just to get it. And, 2 days later, reset hits, it gets disabled. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, that was fun for 48 hours. And I'm sure it'll come back useless, but it's the same. And they were just like, yeah, it just didn't work right, I guess. And now it's back. So I barely used it at all because of that. And now we got...
Is it still reasonable, though? Is it still...
I think it's the same. I don't think it's changed. I think it must have just had like a buggy interaction with something.
Okay, well, my point contact cannon brace, which is a mouthful alone. For one, Thunderclap, I'm sorry, but man, I hope that gets reworked in Lightfall, because that is not a great thing. Arc is about running, movement, speed, and you're like, hold on, let me charge it up. And then when you use it, I'm like, I don't quite know if you're in the range. It's not always obvious if you're in the range. Takes forever to charge up. It may hit hard if you get it, but it's like, I'm not going to plan on this like charge up thing to stand in the very open for DPS. And then the point contact brace literally doesn't help. It gives you like lightning strikes if it tags of some people around you, maybe. And I've tried it. I'm going, this thing is awful. And I got a god roll on the thing too. Like 20, 15 in resilience and recovery, and 21. And yeah, I got a damn near god roll and I don't even care about it.
Yeah, no, I feel you.
The thunderclap thing is like, I don't understand it.
That is my one main, like, that I hope is one of those things they look at and go, hey, sorry.
I agree.
Stand still and charge it up. And
it's not like you can stand in cover and then like peek out. You have to park in the open. And hope either in PvP somebody's going to run into your lane, or in PvE just take the beating until you fire. I'm going.
I have to admit, when I was running Titan, because now I've been forced. Obviously with the 3 characters, when I have the Iron Lord title. So I've been running it, and I was just like, yo, this is whack.
That's not it.
I'm like, who's doing this?
And then I want to compare. This is one of those moments where I'm like, Titans, we get our crap too, because I watched like the lightning travel ball that warlocks get mess me up in trials and like delete you through like doors, and I'm like, I don't even know where you just came from, but that is a magical melee versus my
something else about to happen to that.
But that's all I'm saying. It's like, not everybody, Titans got some crap too. You guys are fine.
Yeah, I like my class. My class.
So anyway, do you Deadfall, Mobius Quiver? Are you yay, nay, don't care?
I'm more of a Mobius Quiver guy anyway, but I mean, Yeah, it's just to get the damage on, and I was running Mobius Quiver. Well, wait, Mobius Quiver's the
Quiver's the
that's
3
exotic,
shots for
isn't it?
DPS.
Yeah, that's the exotic. Oh yeah, that's what it. Yeah, I was mixing up the types of that super. But yeah, I've always been a Mobius Quiver guy. Just like get the 3 shots on. And I mean, clearly I can't use Solar 3.0 anymore because they ruined a Blade Barrage for me, so I'm gonna keep that on. Or Falcons, I guess. I'll try to play with that more because it is fun to use. But yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. It's just it just feels like I don't know what's gonna happen or what's gonna change really with Hunter class damage. I just know that Arc is probably gonna remain in 3rd or 4th. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just never fun reading a TWAB and being like, oh well, that's worse. That's worse.
The worst is when it's your favorite and they nerf it. You're like, oh
yeah.
man.
I mean, even like Arc 3.0, like I actually like playing on Arc for the first time. The super is still not, great for damage, but at least Arc 3.0 with Hunters and with like Liar's Handshake and there's like a build where it's basically like dodge melee, and you can kind of like bounce in and out. That was a lot of fun to play around with, and that actually felt like the whole W subclass that they advertised it as, but nothing else has really come close. Like when I play as a Titan or a Warlock, like it doesn't feel like that same like keep moving and hit everything and dodge everything and never die and I don't know. It never really, that class fantasy hasn't really hit the mark for me, except on Hunter. So
gotcha.
Well, speaking of Arc, on the other side of things, Titans, our Storm Grenade of Beast Mode, that is actually going to get, see, that's the other side. Thunderclap sucks, but Storm Grenade strong. So gotta apparently balance the scale somewhere or another. I wish Thunderclap was okay, since now the other one's coming down a little bit. Basically, they're making it shorter. 5 seconds to 4 seconds, and then the bonus of 2 is going down to 1.5. So it could be 7 before, is now capped at 5.5.
Right.
They're also going to make it much more, and this is probably the better thing, much more visual language to if it's friend or foe, because the ring on the ground, the cloud in the air, you're like, I don't know if that's out. It's like, not entirely sure. So now it's going to be very clear what's going on.
I like that.
The Ballistic Slam in PvE for the Titan is going to get a PvE damage boost of 16%. Now, you go down and you see, no, this is just like a random tangent. Just as I read through this thing, I'm like, okay, you got Tempest Strike. No, like this is Tempest Strike. You get a 30% damage buff. You get Chain Lightning increased by 50%. I'm like, okay, those are round numbers. This is just one of those moments I want to be like to the, abilities team. I'm like, where did you come up with 16? It's not 15, not 17, not 14, not 18, not 10, 20, or 30. 16.
Look at you fighting for power. The strongest class.
No, I'm not. It could be 10.
Greedy, typical Titans. Greedy.
Typical Titans. Always.
Greedy.
I'm honestly just surprised it's not 15 for like rounding for simple numbers. Mine is more curiosity of what makes them do 16 over 15 or 16 over 17. I would love to know what. I would just love to know how they land on that, because you look at Tempest Strike increased by 30, round number, about a third, pretty flat number. And then you got your Chain Lightning for PvP for Warlocks. PvE combatants by 50%. That's not a...
I agree.
No, it's an odd...
10. I agree.
Yeah, 10s, 5s. I just wonder how they settle on a 16.
That's a nice round
You're
number.
shaking your head, but this is not a dumb question. It's just like, why is it 16? They don't...
There's probably other numbers.
Weird.
There's probably other numbers behind it, like it's doing X amount of damage, on average. So the round number might be the one that you don't see. So
I mean that's again, it's just it just throws me because like round number five, like good even numbers, and then all of a sudden it's 16. And I'm not saying it's good or bad. It's just like the number cracks me up. Like it just is kind of hilarious to me that it's like they get so precise.
Why this number is low.
I never once said low in my description at all, so shush.
So first of all, sir, for all this complaint, why is the number so? It's about balance, bro. It's about damage that it does.
I understand the functionality. Exactly. That's the thing I would love.
and the balance.
Oh my God, no! 17% would
so-
not break the game. That's the whole point of why do they settle on this?
Have you done the damage testing, sir? Have you been in
I
the
have
dojo
not,
testing?
but I can tell you,
being that you don't have that
1% on a
information.
ballistic slam is like it's so. All I would love, no, it's one of those times I want to sit down with the dev who did the testing and be like, I would just be curious, like how you where did this thing settle into? Like this number comes from here. It's just a curiosity. I'm not like mad or otherwise. It is a curiosity.
We're all rambling about this for this curiosity
because you're trying to like make it into something it's not.
You're the one that's talking for like 10 minutes about 16%.
The first words out of the first
literally
words
took 16%, took 10 minutes, and I'm like, wow, he really feels a way about it.
The first
So
words out of your
me.
mouth were like, "Oh, it's too low," and I was like, "Never did I say low. Never once."
Good.
Go back and read the transcript.
When you
Kiss my
like
ass.
change the volume in your car radio, do you
feel
do
the
it
way
in
you and
increments of
your
5?
feelings about 16, but we go move on.
It's just I just thought it was kind of interesting because it's like it's not, and it's one of those where I would be curious to see the process because they do this for everything. Tempest they did 30, Chain Lightning they do 50.
Yep.
I would honestly just be curious to say when they go through all of these type of like reworks, what the process is. This is one of those
What
where
do
I
the
love.
numbers mean, Bungie?
I would just I want to see the matrix code. No,
What do
this
the
is-
numbers mean, Mason?
It's just one of those. I would be very curious what the testing process for any of these changes are to know why they land on a certain number. And I would be curious to see it. That's all. I'm so sorry, everybody. I have ruined the world's night.
Bungie,
Excuse me.
fix your game.
Quiet right now. I'm just listening. I've never seen this. Like
It's
this
just a
16. You ain't sleeping.
curiosity. It's just a curiosity. It was weird.
As somebody who only adjusts like the thermostat and the car radio to increments of 5, I got you. I see what you're saying. I like a nice round number.
Okay.
If my girl wants to turn the volume down and it's at 25, it's going to 20. And if it needs to go down further, it's going to 15.
I don't even do
completely
that.
understand.
That's the funny part. Like I'm
right there with you. I like round numbers, but yeah, I mean, there's numbers that we're not seeing. So I mean, I think we should just, to be fair to everybody and to make E happy and also the two of us happy, I think we just make the damage increase down to 0, and then we just
and that'll keep there. That's
call it a day,
satisfying.
and we call it a day. Yeah.
Anyway, that is not what I meant that to be. But
You know what was a nice
Okay,
round
so
number was
maybe-
24, but now we got 20 blades and Blade Barrage.
Stop it.
yeah,
Stop
see,
it.
he's also he's getting messy now.
He out here campaigning.
All right, anyway, Tempest Strike. They want it to be a bit more of a viable option in PvE. You're getting that nice round 30% boost.
He out of pocket tonight. He out of pocket.
I was like, thank God Travis is here. I would have hung up my headphones and just left the podcast. You guys just giving me crap the whole time. It was serious. Oh my God. I'm not even going to bring it back up, but I was like, it was just a curiosity and I just get shit on. So
No, bro. It was just interesting to hear you talk about.
it's like, it's one of those where I wish I could like just witness the testing process to be like, and the number they land on is 16. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But I was like, I just would love to see why. Arc Soul, by the way, about to be a beast.
Yes.
Arc Soul got a buff
oh.
from 25 to 35. Now its base damage is up to 60.
I'm gonna be honest.
That's scary.
That's scary because
I
That's
love
a
that.
lot of damage.
I'm gonna be very honest. Like,
Turn on your little machine gun guy.
yo, when you as a warlock, when you're amplified,
Mhm.
Arc Soul be bodying people now, enemies in
Yeah.
PvE. It's
Yeah.
serious because you got what it is. It's the rapid nature of the hits. It turns into a faster soul. So that got real sexy.
That's
I'm
like your
like,
little. I'm gonna hide behind a rock, and if you come around the corner and come at me, you're dead.
yeah,
Like that.
And I'm
thing's your
healing.
little. Yeah.
yeah. It's real savage.
My favorite Warlock build, because I Warlock is like, it's almost been 1A 1B this year with me. I was playing a lot more Warlock this year, and
Titan over here, just like
I have my Titan. I played my Titan a little bit. I haven't played nearly as much, but
Played my
my
Titan a
Warlock
little
has
bit.
been like really close, almost main this year, and I love my little Thunder Buddy. I love my little Arc Soul.
yeah.
I love my Thunder Buddy.
I call them the snitches. I call them the snitches. I like my snitches. They be telling.
They do. They're talking. They're going to be talking a lot louder now. They're going to be singing. And so that with little no time to explain, the no time to explain catalyst.
It's the build.
They get the whole. It's a one-man fire team.
Yep.
Facts. You
Yeah.
you literally got a fire team.
Yeah, you ready to go?
Yes. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Alright,
so that's
so
now to see that
avoid-
got a buff too. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that's gonna be hard.
Bring
Wow.
those Arc Warlocks out a little bit.
Mhm.
And then for Warlocks as well, melee abilities. Ball Lightning got its travel range increased by 7.5 meters, all the way out to like 35. That's the range of a hand cannon. That's massive. And then Chain
cool.
Lightning got its PvE damage boosted by 50%. Like they want you
That's big.
Stormcallers to feel better.
Because shout out to Fallout Plays. The reason why we don't use the ball lightning, as cool as it is, and it does have decent range prior to this buff.
Yeah.
The problem is, again, warlocks with any type of animation up close as an enemy, like you get canceled out, and then you do the standard one, and you don't get your move off.
Yeah.
So I feel there's got to be a trade off. So I like that actually. So I was like, all right, this is actually pretty cool.
And then your Chaos Reach base cooldown is going to be reduced from 916 to 735. Some
Yes.
people were saying that it's still not enough, but it's a step, I guess, for
It's
the
a
time
step.
being.
And I got to talk on this one. All right. So the reason, look, I know Chaos Reach was terrorizing for a while, but the reason why, because the Geomag and the combo of what is it? It was called like topping off. So you get that.
Yeah, just sprint and fill it up.
You just sprint and fill it up. Shout out to Teddy because he was in the Crucible tearing people up. That was the hustle. You throw the Geomags, you got like 100% intellect. Oh, he was terrorizing. So I understand, but now that Storm Trance is where it is, it should not have the same equal cooldown as the other one. Like the Chaos Reach is not getting used right now, and they need to they can't have the same time and duration. So I agree with that.
Finally, Stasis. They're going to increase the movement speed penalty while slowed by 10%, make the slow feel more slowing. The Cold Snap Grenade is going to have a little more timing to adjust its trajectory for tracking, as opposed to Osmiomancy Gloves. Theoretically, could be very good. Duskfield Grenades increase slow stack application rate on players. Again, my whole freak out about an odd number, 13% for the slow stack application.
Ooh.
Honestly, for me, Duskfield sucks since it lost the polling effect.
Yeah.
In PvE especially, you may as well just not use it. Like, it feels...
Yeah.
I mean, my Titan for Stasis, I don't love it anyway, but then when I go to throw one of those, I'm like, oh, it doesn't... You could nerf the PvP effect, that's fine, but leave the pulling effect in PvE.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that burns me. I'm going, it wasn't even that big of a deal, but now it just feels like, unless you perfectly line it up in the little dome, no. So
I agree.
they also, for the Revenant Hunter and Behemoth Titan, a couple of the aspects are getting a additional fragment slot, so that's actually a good thing. Anything with one does kind of feel kind of weak. Shadebinders, Glacial Harvest, reduce the cooldown on Stasis shard creation per 6 shards from 15 to 10. That's a little bit better. And then the Whisper of Rending now provides bonus damage to Stasis crystals and frozen targets for all primary ammo instead of just kinetics. So that's just general use for anything that fires a primary bullet, which is probably fine.
Which is fine. Yeah, this is good.
Stasis stuff is generally minimal. Nothing too major in there since I don't live on now. And I just, it's like kind of some of those things. I wish they would go back on the Duskfield change for me. I miss that. Even if you don't want to do it in PvP, fine. PvE, it doesn't feel like it's got enough on it anymore.
Agreed. Big time.
But that is most of it for the abilities. You guys I know Dom's hurting.
I'm in the sunken place right now.
You in the upside down right now?
I gotta admit, very favorable for the Warlock delegation.
Yeah, you guys did fine.
Yeah, like we eat.
The Warlock delegation approves of this.
Yeah, we did like this is all us. Like every single thing almost it got buffed from that. I mean, for the most part, that I had issues with. I mean, we got to see how it plays out. I mean, I do like balance patches before, like you said, you said it best, Ian. This is balance 3.0 as far as now that all the 3.0s have landed, they got to fix. There's still more tweaking to be done though. And yeah, like I agree with you, like Titan Stasis kind of, Warlock, I mean, Hunters, I'm with you, Dom. Like, I ain't feel like I face a lot of. I didn't feel like all that was oppressive. Like I didn't feel like they need to nerf I'm with you on this.
You guys are
Hunter
just
is the
invisible, and the pain in everybody's side.
need to get.
Yeah, I will say,
where's the nerf for that?
no, yeah, now they said that's one thing they're kind of working on as well.
Right.
But I will say, like, I am average in the PvP. You look at the bell curve, they say the average person's at 100. I'm probably damn near close to that. I don't know, maybe a smidge above, maybe, who knows. Things that even when I go into like my random like control matches or something like, or even, you know, trials is hit or miss, but it's like when you start, and I know the high level of PvP is just getting nothing but invisible arbalists and stuff like that. That's got to be hell. And that kind of,
sure.
We'll talk about that here in a minute, but it's just, there are the invisibility thing right now when I'm just like, oh, what killed me? I'm like, as he pops out of invisibility, I'm like, you bastard. I'm like, like the invisible hunters right now, they can just go somewhere.
Well, I mean, they're forcing our hand. They're taking away, you know, solar, and you know, I don't know. It's just
you still got guns. You got guns, right? You can shoot those guns so that you not be invisible.
You guys have cell phones, right?
What I'm with you is the damage resistance part. I didn't like that. I was like, because they're already kind of glass cannony, so I didn't feel the need for them to nerf that aspect.
Yeah,
which I was doing. I just felt
there's got to be something there. I mean, it just seems like now if I come out of invisibility, it's like you got that tight window before you start get trading shots. But
I will give you some hope. Generally, vintage Bungie, when they do something like this, either one or two things happen. One, they introduce some type of new fragment or exotic synergy that will actually buff and give it back to like a status of it what it once was. Yeah. So generally when you see those type of nerfs, they're prepping you for something. And I remember that happened a couple of seasons ago. I was like, oh, what they doing? Oh, this is going to be trash now. And then you do get some stuff to kind of supplement. So I'm willing to reserve judgment. But yeah, I do feel where you're coming from.
Yep. We got new information about the new dungeon, the drop time and date. That is all. Now, I wanted to ask you guys, because it's the same time as Duality, so we're doing this, but it's 3 days. 3 days. However you hold up 3. 3 days to the damn, like, hour from season launch. And you're telling me...
What's up?
Why is it got to be so quick? I know
they want those Twitch numbers up.
They front load the season, and I know they do those things. There won't be trials at the start of the season. There won't be Iron Banners, so it's like their thing to start it. But I'm like, you do like now, if you're gonna want to run the dungeon, you know, when you get like the start of the dungeon will probably be around your current level. The end of the dungeon will be a little higher, and it's gonna be beneficial to everybody who wants to run that thing on day one to grind the living crap out of all your bounties and all the content and just play nonstop. Now, is it necessary for a lot of people? Probably not so much, but it is still advantageous. Yeah, they broke Duality. Yeah, so it's just I don't love the 3 days. Give me like the 10. But again, if I'll be curious. I will be very curious where Lightfall's raid lands. If they do 3 days on a Friday or something with the Lightfall's raid, I'm not gonna be thrilled about that. I hope not, because that's too much stuff to get through. But
that's a lot.
Now the question, I wonder, what do you guys, or Dom at least, because I think we may have talked about this, but you can go first. Like, new dungeon. What do you want to see? Who do you want to fight? Where do you want to go? Where everybody knows your name. Sorry.
Yeah, I mean, in the first place, I mean, for your first point, in terms of when the raid drops, when the dungeon drops, I mean, I'd be fine waiting a week. I don't know. I honestly don't know if I would want to wait any longer, because I've been playing the game so religiously this year, and like, Season of Plunder has really just fizzled out for me, and like I need something to get excited about. Like, get me charged up. You know, unless the new seasonal activity is also fire, in which case, and I'm sure it'll be good, because they need to go out on a banger going into the brand new expansion, going into like the grand finale. Like for the year. I'm sure there'll be a new seasonal activity that'll be worth doing. So if that's cool, then great. Give me something to get excited for right off the rip with the new season, but I wouldn't want to wait any longer than a week for Duality or for the new dungeon to drop. If anything, hey, give me a nice, cool, beefy story moment in the first week that leads us into it. That's like, all right, you got to go. The first seasonal activity is we got to find where this thing is, or something like that. Maybe that's the first story mission. In terms of what it is, I think it only makes sense for it to be like the Tomb of Nezarec. Like it would be cool.
You're going for the home run swing right now.
That's 100%. I think we need one. I mean, because clearly we know that Callus is the big bad in Nightfall. We're going to Neptune, right? It's Neptune, right? In Nightfall. Yeah, we're going to Neptune. We're dealing with the Cloud Striders. The aesthetic between what we're seeing with Nezarec and what we're seeing with Nightfall are two completely polar opposite things. I don't see Nezarec being involved. Nezarec is done by the end of this year, I think he's going to be the big bad for this season. They're going to do the ritual. They're going to bring him in. This is what I think.
The seance. Okay. I see
what I think. They're going to do the seance. Ido is going to be like,
is she going to die and come back as a guardian?
I don't know. Something like, I mean, hey, she's cool as hell. Like, I really love Ido. I think she's an awesome character. I would love to see her get more, more story. I would be sad if she just like straight up died. I don't think her being this. There's a lot of people that thought she would be this like sacrificial lamb.
I did think they might play that. I was worried they might play that with her, but continue.
Maybe they were trying to see if whether or not fans liked her, and then now they're like, okay, like people love Ido, like there's so much fan art and everything like that. Like we can't kill her off. But I think, and Drifter knows where this Tomb of Nezarec is. I think Drifter has been entertaining as hell this whole season. I loved seeing this. Drifter's the closest we have in Destiny to like a guy from Boston too, just like the way he talks and like he's a hey brother, sister, like how's everything going? Like he's like my uncle that like hangs out outside the Dunkin' Donuts and is like, I got a good parlay for you this week for like the NBA.
Oh my god.
But like Drifter knows these schemes. I don't know if the tomb he was talking about is one of the reliquaries or if it's an actual place. Because I think what he says to the lore bit that he says to Shin Malphur is that he's been to the fourth Tomb of Nezarec or he's seen it. I can't remember what the language is there. But like I think the dungeon has to be the Tomb of Nezarec. It's got to be like we're going like Mummy Returns type, like into the crypt.
He asking a lot, but I like this.
That's what I'm saying.
No, he's here. He's going for the gold medal, so I can't hold it against him.
Budgie like to throw all this in the stash for like 4 seasons later.
Oh yeah, he wants it. No, I was like, oh no, I want everything like right now.
Fire story, but they did that. Oh, bro,
I'm talking because then people get you get excited about that, and it's like boom, let's end the year by we already know that this dude was the whole reason why the first collapse happened. Like, let's go kick his ass. Go send us into the tomb to wake him up and kick his ass and kill him again. That's what I'm talking about. Like, I think that would be a banger way to end the season. Then we go straight into Neo Muna, and we can just kind of clean slate this whole thing. So we have this new storyline to focus on. That's me though, but I'm gonna refill my water real quick. I'll be right back. Well, I can hear you, so I want to hear your thoughts.
What do you want, Cog? What do you want out of this new dungeon?
I'm gonna surprise you. It's time for the Vex.
Yeah.
It's time for the Vex. It's time. I know. Look, I know.
What Fallen?
Not the most liked.
All.
Yeah.
Taken.
It's time for the Vex.
Yeah. Let's say we're due.
The thing with the Vex, they're cool, but the problem is they have no single entity. They don't have a voice, right? They don't have a something that I almost feel like I wish that someone could control them. So that they did have a voice, that they could speak through something, or there's an
instead
entity
of like
that
Waria.
Kind
of, but maybe,
right. So maybe they do. Hopefully the Rasputin thing happens.
Going to be the witness. Witness controls them.
Yeah, like I don't like the fact that I think the Vex aesthetically are really cool. I actually like Vex enemies, Vex bosses.
All I can say is I hate the Goblins crit spot though.
Yeah, the crisp pocket on my damn nerve. And then they crunch out of there.
Yeah, and then they crunch, or like they have some, and then you sneeze on a hobgoblin, and they're like, no, they freak out for a second.
Yeah. I like the Vex. Like I said, I just think they need a slight revamp now, or they need see what was dope about the Hive, and Dom talked about it was that I was kind of with like Dom exactly, and as cool as the Hive are to fight, and they're menacing, and they look cool. Mm-hmm. The story was just a little too much for me, like the sword logic and this and that, and the fundamental. And like I have to go open up, the bike videos and just really resonate to find out what's going on. But what made them dope is that nice twist that Witch Queen added to it. And you're like, oh, yo, all this time we're thinking that this enemy, like this evil thing, and they got passed by, they got tricked, and you know what I'm saying? And it's a Savathun twist. So the way the the Hive are now are in a great place. You know, the Fallen, they're scattered, but now we got the Mithrax thing. We're learning about that. We got Fallen babies in the city. You know what I'm saying? They buy the vending machines now. The Cabal got a nice transformation. Caiatl, you know what I'm saying? And learning about her and this whole thing and the right approving. And, you know, she definitely feeling some Zavala. I know that's going on there. The two have been very cozy, you know what I'm saying? And even yeah, someday, right? And then the Saladin situation. So I feel like the Cabal have come full circle. It's time for the Vex. Like we got to do something with them. Just this mindless, you know, Borg-like machine thing. We got to do something with them. So that's my hope. They get used some other way. I really don't want to see the scoring again. We just did that.
Please no.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like scoring. I get you. You had to be reused for some assets. Or at the very least, you know, it was asset time. It's all right. We ain't got no new enemies. Come on now. Yo, we took away Forsaken, right?
Like you said, we got food at home. We got food at home.
Yeah, we got exactly. That's that microwavable joint. They throw them in the microwave. They gonna like it. They gonna like it.
Oh man!
But now it is time. So I want to see what's going on. But to your point, Dom, I like how you shooting for the stars. That's where it should go, right? That's what we should be doing. Because I want to know about Nezarec. I want to know how this disciple literally wiped out everything. The pyramid was on the moon that whole time. Now we know that was his joint. Like, and then also like what it took to stop him. Like that's crazy that they did stop him. So it's exciting. It's exciting. And then we set up Nightfall and get this thing cracking.
Yeah, I was like, no, I'm with you. I think
what you think?
no, I mean Vex. Like I feel like you go through, you got, you know, Shadow Throne taken, then we went to Hive down there, then we went to Prophecy, taken again, kind of good on the taken.
Yep.
Then obviously Savathun, we got you know, duality with Cabal, we got Fallen all over Grasp, which I can never remember the name of.
Yep, Grasp of Avarice.
So yeah, it's like, what have we haven't technically had, I guess just Vex is the only one we're missing.
Yeah, Vex needs something to do.
Yeah, we haven't had it. Well, you were saying that you reused score and like they haven't had a score in dungeon specifically.
Yeah, because I look at I guess you're correct. We haven't had scoring in a dungeon, but
that's what I was just trying to think through. That's all.
Yeah. But you know what it is? I feel like we did, even though we didn't, because when we did Vow of Disciple, right?
Yeah.
Vow of Disciple was scoring later.
Yeah,
so I'm just
for
like,
sure. Yeah.
You know
no,
what I mean?
That's fair. Like, this Vex has been, I mean, since Splicer, they really haven't been even a piece of the story.
Oh, they haven't gone anywhere. We don't really know what's. Yeah, Splicer was the last thing, the underwhelming Quarrior fight.
I don't think we're getting Siva. Sorry, Siva Tech.
Yeah,
I don't think we're getting Devil Splicers and stuff. Like it'd be cool, but that'd come out of left field. So no, Vex
nice for Rasputin, and well, put it this way, Siva's Tech. Maybe not now, but it would be cool because you know Wrath of Rashid is going to come back at some point. The season that Wrath of Rashid comes back, one of those years, it'll be nice to bring that in there.
Which also means Crota's coming at one point.
I'm ready for Crota. I'm ready.
I am, but I know a lot of people are going to be like, it's a dungeon. I'm like, no, it's not. If they give it a little rework, I think it'll be okay. But yeah, I mean, we did that the other day. It's like, you can draw out the seasons to the end of Final Shape, and I'm going, all right, kind of see where all this is going to kind of pan out. And I think that's part of, it's like we're due for a Rasputin season. Season with Rasputin would be cool, but I don't think it's going to be specifically Siva tied, because I don't think they want to try and bring that specifically back in, because we did lock it away. But Rasputin as a war mind and an AI in and of himself, theoretically a very powerful tool to have. But yeah, it is just one of those to think through. We get this dungeon, then we get Lightfall's raid, then we're going to get some other dungeon, then we get whatever fruit, probably Wrath, as you said. And then it would be really funny if like Final Shape finally brings Crota's like, the last one's on there. Okay, cool. We completed the D1 raids. They're all in there now. Be happy. Shh.
Yeah.
Like that's kind of feel like where it's going to land. But no, I feel like we are definitely due for some kind of X. Rasputin and the Engram. I'm just kind of curious if this dungeon can do something a bit more unique, like Prophecy. Because I like the light and the dark mechanic. Duality had the flipping, which was cool. Grasp did not. Grasp didn't have much going on. I mean, it had like the engram thing that you'd like, oh, hold on, get enough engrams, and like that was with the crystal was the whole thing. But that just got to be
Grasp was to me was comedy. It was like light relief.
Yeah, it was like a parody.
I mean, that came with parody. That was with the 30th. That was with the 30th anniversary, right?
Yeah. This is the same. This came in the same package that the Star Horse did. So
yeah,
we're gonna take that with a grain of salt.
Facts.
Vex. I mean, yeah, it feels like a Vex dungeon, but man, I'm gonna be annoyed by all those freaking goblins. Crouch, God. So many times.
It almost feels like they have to, like, as much as I want the Nezarec thing, like it feels like they would have to do something that leads into Lightfall, like that makes like first contact with the Cloud Striders this season. Because you know, I mean, your average Destiny player or something, like maybe they're not decided, maybe they're not fully sold yet on Lightfall. You know, maybe they haven't. I mean, the numbers don't lie. I mean, there's definitely been some really good numbers for Lightfall sales already. But you know, it feels like this has to be like this first contact season. Like, oh, we got contact with, you know, what's a Cloud Strider? You know, they got one. Well, I don't know. Maybe they got that one. Whoever the main Cloud Strider that like has a name. I think there's one that has a name.
I forget I know who you're talking about, but yeah, I forget the name.
Maybe we see one hanging out in the city or in the tower rather, or in the helm or something. And it's like
that, but I could expect maybe I would see something more along the lines of like voice message projection things. I could see those kind of Nimbus. There you go. Which is a type of cloud, so that makes sense.
Yeah, maybe there's some sort of tease there. I don't know. It feels like there's a lot of loose ends that they could choose to tie up or not, but that's also Destiny. So
yeah, forever the loose ends. Yeah,
forever loose ends.
No, but yeah, it's like so you got Nimbus, Stratus. I bet we're Cirrus. I'm trying to think of these are all cloud names, so these are the ones I'm wondering like. How many, because if they're Cloud Striders, I'm curious if any of like Stratus, Cirrus, Cumulonimbus, like which is a thunderstorm cloud, for example. I wonder if any of those are going to be names of characters that we actually see in Neomuna. Like they have a whole city. There's more than like a couple of them. So some of the main NPCs, I would imagine, just think of cloud names. They got to use some of them. There's no way they don't. I think
Bill Benz is stupid. He said the Vex could come back led by Asher Mir looking like a Minotaur.
That'd be like a 30th anniversary that'd be 30th anniversary like trolling type dungeon, but that would be funny.
I mean, he is in the body of that little one of the harpies, right?
Oh, is that right? Yeah, I remember. Yeah, that's right. He's in the body. He's the good harpy guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, that would be kind of fire.
Yeah.
No doubt.
As for this week, though, I mean, festival's wrapping up. So, I mean, if you haven't farmed for your weapons that you want, I mean, I think I got a triple tap Vorpal Macabre or Macabre, however you want to say it. I got the God roll that they gave you for PvP in the beginning. Only one I can't really get is a great Jurassic Green with Incandescent. Like, I got a Rangefinder one. But I didn't get one that I like really wanted. I didn't quite get there, so who knows? We'll see if I want to go back in there. But I'm kind of done with a lot of things right now, actually. So yeah, I might be experimenting with like random things like, hey, how's Repulsor Praise if this thing gives you 25% more damage mitigation?
Yeah, that'd be lit.
So,
that'd be lit.
Well, anything else you gentlemen would like to discuss, or?
No, we're rocking and rolling. You know, hopefully. For me, it's just like, okay, you know, season is what it was. Yeah. Let's prep for the next. Let's see what they got going. I do want to see how they transition this season though into the next season. So I want to know what this event might be, and hopefully, hopefully it's just something cool. I just need something hard hitting narrative wise, man, just to really get everybody pumped up again. I just feel like there's that lull right now, and they just need to kind of get the room back up. So other than that, you know, there's other games for us to play while we wait for that to happen.
Yeah, November's heavy. November's a heavy month.
Have you guys looked at February though? Are you kidding me with that month?
Yeah, it's insane.
Talk about it,
bro.
Okay, I'm just gonna list them off for you guys. All of these games are in succession. Like, not hardly a week apart, barely. Forspoken, January 24th. Delivers from Mars, February 2nd. Hogwarts Legacy, February 10th.
Wow.
Wild Heart, February 17th.
Wow.
Atomic Heart, February 23rd.
Insane.
Destiny, February 28th. Wolong,
Insane.
March 3rd. Week after week after
Wow.
week after week after week after. I'm like, come on, guys.
it's
And that's not
insane.
even all of them, because I think Skill Up put out a list of even
there's
more.
Mhm.
There's more that I didn't even list, because his tweet yesterday
Mhm.
had a couple other ones that were in there. I'm going, are you? Oh, he had Dead Island 2, February
yeah.
3rd.
Yeah.
Like a Dragon Ishin, February 21st.
Oh, I forgot about that.
Now PSVR 2, theoretically on February 22nd.
Yep.
Sons of the Forest, which is the sequel to The Forest, like a survival game. Company of Heroes 3 is another one. Octopath Traveler 2. Kirby's Kerbal Space Program 2. Like, and those are not even as high on my list, but they're still also pretty solid games. Thank you Zinthos for the 4 months of membership, by the way. And Gaming Forte, sending love to my two favorite people on the tube. Have a great weekend, homies. Hope you get everything you wanted out of this boring event.
Oh, no, it's definitely boring. I'm with you there, bro. Yeah. Well, say I gotta holler at you, man. I haven't talked to you in forever. Salute. I think we missed DJ Oros for super chat earlier. I think did we get it?
I thought I said it, but
he said one where earlier. I don't know if we read. I don't remember us reading.
I think I said it in the intro. Yeah.
Okay.
And then Siva Tech, money for the greedy Titan. Thank you, sir.
Yes, no doubt.
As always. But yeah, it's like it is coming to a point where like God of War on November 9th and like the next Destiny season a month later, I was like, this is amazing. Don't get delayed. And it didn't, because I actually get to enjoy it. No rush, nothing going on in Destiny. So I'm just going to live in God of War next week.
You know, we just got to make sure we don't lose Dawn with this Warcraft about to do something.
Listen, I'm saying, and you know, God of War comes out on my birthday, so I got.
Well, that's right. Scorpio season, right? That's right.
Scorpio season. You know what?
I forgot about that. My bad.
And then you got to decide between your two children, between Somerville,
my birthday,
Somerville and Pentiment. Yeah.
Don't tell nobody.
Somerville's gonna win that one. I know one. No, you and I on like Limbo and Inside. I knew as soon as I had Somerville, I was like, "Yep, that's where
the
you're
vibes." Going. Yeah.
And that's the thing is like, depending on timing of like these weeks, is like November 15th. I need to literally like no life God of War just to keep up with whatever's next in the community.
There we go. I'm not playing no game. I'm going in.
Are either of you like no life in God of War?
I'm not gonna no life it. I'm gonna play it, but I'm not gonna no life because I know how that's gonna go. That
I know you're too busy right now. I feel,
bro. I got Persona. I got so much going on that I still got Plague Tale. It's so much right now.
After doing one Plague Tale, I probably don't want to back the other one up quite as close to it.
Yeah,
I've heard it's better in basically every way, but I still don't want to burn out on stuff.
So many games, bro.
Yeah, I haven't I actually still haven't. I didn't have a PS4, so I never played God of War 2018. So I am playing that for the first time.
Yeah, play that first, man.
I'm playing that for the first time.
Good stuff.
Right now, it's great. It's excellent. I mean, it's everything. I'm playing that and Marvel Spider-Man for the first time at the same.
Dude, you are
Renaissance right now.
You are seriously playing some of the best games from PS4 generation.
Oh yeah. So I gotta do that. I'm gonna grab myself Uncharted 4 because I still haven't finished. I used to love those games. I was heavy on the PS3, but I never got a PS4 or 5. So, but my boy down the street got a PS5. So I'll get Ragnarok and I'll just go crash on his couch for a few days and no life that. I'll just go live it as well. So no, I mean, WoW Dragonflight looks good. The beta's been a ton of fun. So hopefully this last season for Destiny goes out with a bang and not a whimper. But I know I got backup stuff. I got a backup.
Got stuff in the stash.
Good. I've been having a blast with that. I've been playing Modern Warfare 2. Modern Warfare 2 is a lot of fun.
Yo, I ain't gonna lie, Dom. I might be tempted to come back. I was trying to. My rule was I'm not playing no more. Like I used to be hardcore with it. I was like, my rule is I'm not playing no more until the Microsoft deal happened, and I'm gonna get it all in Game Pass for free. But I ain't gonna front. Like, yo, it looked mad fun. Then I heard they got raids coming.
Yes.
And the other thing, they killing me on Twitter. They got your man that look like me.
Oh, you are literally in Call of Duty. That cracked me up. I meant to forget. I forgot about that.
I'm like supposed to have this game.
I've even heard the campaign's pretty solid. Like, it's gonna look fantastic depending on TV and stuff. So that'll be. There's a lot to play right now. So I mean, it's a good time for it to be slow in the world of Destiny. So you got fiance over there grabbing a dog out of your office. It's fine. I'd have 3 huskies in here if my door wasn't open, so it's fine.
Miller is getting evicted. Yeah, he's gotta get his stuff together. But yeah, no. There's a lot of good stuff to play right now. So I mean, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, the reality is that whatever this season is has probably been done for a while. So reactions be damned. People might not have. Like Bungie probably has seen the reactions for Season of Plunder, and they're like, "Ooh, they got
a 6 month learning curve because they can't do much changes, and Lightfall's probably pretty long in the tooth at this point to make anything drastic. Maybe tweaks here and there and stuff like that. Which order do you do the activities in and stuff? But no, I am very curious when it comes to next season because
I'm optimistic.
Yeah.
I'm optimistic.
It does feel like the season before an expansion always it does pretty well. Get some cool moments. Like Arrivals had a cool lead up to it, but wasn't quite as strong. And then we got Season of the Lost with like Shattered Realm and that moment with like the Savathun Crystal and stuff. Like there was some cool moments in that one. Took a little while to get there, but we got there. So I mean,
I just need some new lore to get excited about. I want to get some nice, just drenched in lore.
Yep,
that's what I'm with you, dog. That's where I'm at.
Give me a good story to read and hopefully get us there. So, but
yeah, no, I'm gonna be watching very closely for those Modern Warfare raids because I don't know. I think there's some Activision hangers on that were there from the Destiny days still that they're like, we can make this happen.
My buddy told me about those and he's like plays tons of Warzone and stuff like that. And I was like, when he said that, I was like, with their budget, theoretically.
Yeah.
So
they're talking 3-man teams, they're talking bosses, puzzles, the whole nine. So, and I mean, they have the loadout and like customization system that can support different builds and different kind of, comps for that. So I don't know. I think it's interesting. It's interesting. I've never been this like intrigued by a Call of Duty before ever.
Yeah.
So, but lots of good stuff on the horizon. So,
yeah, same man. Let's see what's going on. A lot of stuff cooking.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for being here in chat. I know sometimes on Destiny Weeks it's not always the most poppin' thing in the world, but we still appreciate you guys being here and got some ability changes and who knows what. This is going to be a long set of patch notes because everything we just read is already going to be in there. So season 19 patch notes is going to be a book and a half. But as we wrap up, we always like to give our guests a chance to kind of let people know. And you got a whole list of stuff: blogs, podcasts, Twitters. Now is the time to tell everybody where to find you, follow you, listen to you. It's yours. Go.
Your balls off.
All right. Well, thank you guys for having me. Really appreciate it. Big shout out to everybody in the chat as well. Thank you for the love. Thank you for the conversation. Always appreciate the love. And so for me, my name is Dom. My handle is Papa Dom. On Twitter, it's WGG Papa Dom. You can follow Wicked Good Gaming on Twitter, which is at Wicked Good Games. We're one character shy of that character limit. Everything else is at Wicked Good Gaming. But it's Wicked Good Games on Twitter because, the Twitter never loved us. But if you want to see the written word, wickedgoodgaming.com is the blog. That's my baby. We get some great writers on there, some very talented people that are helping to keep that afloat. And of course, the podcast, our bread and butter, is Not Another Gaming Podcast, which you can find on all your favorite podcasting platforms. New episodes are recorded every Thursday live at 7 p.m., just like this beautiful program as well. So for the fans in the chat now, I'm not trying to take you away, so you can listen to the edited pre-recorded version on Spotify tomorrow morning. Every Friday morning is the pre-recorded one. Every Thursday night, sometimes Wednesdays, like in this case, this week it was Wednesday, at 7 p.m. Eastern. So check us out, Not Another Gaming Podcast. Big shout out to Bob and Chris, my co-hosts. Could not do it without them. Big shout out to everybody who recently supported the charity that we recently had during Breast Cancer Awareness Month. We raised over $2,800 for Runway for Recovery, which is a Massachusetts-based 501c3 nonprofit that helps support breast cancer survivors, fighters, and their families. It's an incredible organization and a really great mission. So big love to them. And of course, Cog, E, and also Travis. I hope Travis is feeling better.
Yeah, for sure.
But big shout out to you guys. Thank you guys for having me. Really, really appreciate it. Hope to come back around the campfire soon and see if any of these predictions panned out.
Yeah. Salute to the homie Dom pulling up, man. It's been a minute. You know what I'm saying? Since we had to get it done, man. Absolute pleasure. This is the homie, good people. You know we pulling up the PAX season. We go to Boston.
Absolutely.
You know how it's going down. You know how you give it up. You know how we give it up. So it's going to be lit. I'm excited to get back in the mix again. I think next year's going to be crazy, by the way.
Well, so next year is going to be a little complicated too because we're actually I don't know if you saw this, but we'll actually be welcoming my my son in April.
Congratulations!
So first child. So my wife and I will be expecting my son. Our son will be here in April. So hopefully they do PAX early this year. Hopefully PAX is like March.
No, it's March. It's March. It's definitely March. No, it's definitely March.
Okay, we're in there. Then. We're in there.
Yeah, March is definitely. I think it's late March though.
That's the danger zone.
Touch and go for you. It's gonna be touch and go.
It's down the street. It's only a couple of T stops down the street, so we'll be okay, I think. But
we'll make it happen. It's good to see
GCX.
you.
I'm gonna try to get the GCX next year too.
There you go.
That's all you got to.
Yeah, when I need that
to yourself as a Destiny fan, you gotta make your pilgrimage to Mecca. You got that's the rite of passage. The
spaceship or the cruise ship, whatever you were calling it.
Yeah, the Leviathan, baby. You gotta come to Leviathan and pull up.
That is a massive resort. Yeah.
I need that. I'm gonna need that probably.
Royal baths, you know what I'm saying? You got
granted about what is it? It's a little later this year because it's definitely avoiding E3.
Oh yeah, that's Pleasure Gardens. Oh, it's gonna be lit. I can't wait. Let's go.
Turn me up.
It is August 4th and 5th, so it'll be early August.
Perfect.
You got. I was gonna say a couple months after a new kid, but you might be a little far enough away. You might be able to talk yourself into that one, but it's still gonna be a stretch.
Tell him it's a great spot for you could wifey.
Oh no, my wife came. She hangs out at the pool while I'm doing convention stuff. There's like 4 or 5 restaurants on the property, 3 different pools. It's legit.
Courses. It's huge.
I like that.
And it's
don't you golf too? Don't you?
I do golf, absolutely. Yeah.
You can make it the family getaway right there.
Gotta talk him into it.
I'm gonna go have a conversation as soon as I sign off here.
Right,
honey, I know exactly what we're doing in August.
Rose and Shingle Creek, aka the Leviathan.
Yep. Need that.
So anyway, what's up with you, man?
No, you're up.
Oh yeah, no, man. Same old man. This week, just kind of getting back into the mix. Shout out to Mr. Matty Plays, who definitely popped the question. Go check out the Friday Duke. I was hosting it this week. Had Miles Down PA on Monday for the Ultimate, and then had Randall Thor just put that up for the Big Boy Show. It was a lot of fun talking about Xbox, the promises, all that good stuff. Big weekend for ILP. Shout out to the Lord. So this week is Saturday is Player YC, which is our little gaming convention. It's no PAX East of Boston, but it's our little, gaming convention for the town. So we gotta throw it up. We'll be there Saturday. Attic will be in New York City, so I'm gonna show him around for the first time in NY. It's gonna be big. And then Sunday, I'll break it here. Sunday, tune in. We hit our goal. Shout out to Valari. Shout out to everybody. Get your little gaming pillow on. And we are going to do, for the first time, ILP live, New York City, in the heart of the town. Wow. All Lords together. The first time we've ever podcasted live, in person, semi-professional setup. So,
nice.
So this Sunday, for those who listen, y'all get this on Ebontis channel. Get that exclusive.
There you go. Go follow Iron Lords. A live show, you're not going to want to miss that. So I'm sure there will be a couple slices of pizza involved, maybe. I can see that.
Beverages. Pizza's going to be involved. They got to get that pizza. New York official.
Yeah.
I got to go. Take an E down. I'll probably take him down. I'll take Attic down. I'll probably take it to Bleecker Street. Get that official New York. I need that Goomba slice. He need the energy. You know what I'm saying? He need the energy, dog. Got it, because they don't know. He don't know what New York pizza does. So I'm gonna show him what. You know what I'm saying?
Attic, yeah.
Yeah, because the Chicago dudes is acting up, and we gotta,
That's right. Yeah. Chicago pizza's not pizza.
That lasagna. We don't do that.
That's a pie.
That's a casserole.
That's real Italian.
Right there.
I actually made my first homemade pizza this past weekend too. So.
Right.
Did a little mess. I have. Twice now I've experimented with yeast. One was cinnamon rolls, one was pizza crust. It ended up being a thin pizza crust, but it was decent. It was okay. For first time making one, cooked it, had the toppings on there, ended up reasonable. Obviously not the one or anything, but I was like,
Mhm.
hey, I didn't fail. So I was happy about
Salute.
that. So
Fire.
for me,
So
you
what
guys
you need?
know, next week, Wednesday, live streaming God of War, and as long as I can until I'm done, day after day after day. That's pretty
Boy.
much what I'm gonna do.
Mhm.
Tuesday will be Iron Banner. I'm good on that one. So for now, it's kind of just keeping up with whatever you may need to. Probably be working on dungeon guides, weapons to look out for, things like repulsor brace and stuff like that are kind of what we're going to be doing for the next month or so, and then see what the community event is the following week. No, Iron Banner is not next week. Iron Banner is the week after.
The week
Next
after,
week is
okay.
not much. Yep.
Yeah.
God of War.
God of War. You got perfect timing.
Yeah.
Perfect
Could
timing.
not ask for a better time. So I will be doing that. And Dom, thank you very much for coming in. Of course, Travis, we would love to have had you here,
Wish you
but
get
please
better,
feel
brother.
better, man. But Dom, thank you very much for giving us a couple hours of your evening. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you guys for having me. Really appreciate it. And shout out to the community as well. Thank you for being so welcoming.
Yeah.
Well, to everybody out there who's still in chat, thank you guys very much. And for this episode number 222 on November, it's November, which is crazy. Daylight saving time this weekend, by the way. Don't forget, it has been the last word.
Last word. Yeah.